Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awfully Silly. My name is Conception. I'm so excited to be here. We have a ton of fantastic games on. Some games that I personally love, some of the games I personally played a bunch myself, some that are more kind of famous for their awful silliness as well. So we're going to be diving right in to this superhero themed episode, which we've done before, but we're doing all different games. But before we get there, I did want to remind everyone of just a few things. First of all, GDQ 2025 is coming right up. We're getting towards the end of December now, beginning of January. We're right there. We're going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, January 5th through the 12th. So be sure to visit gamesdonequick.com. Be sure and check out the GDQ 2025 important dates section to learn about everything we got going on, all the events. If you happen to be crafty and you want to submit some prizes or things like that, we still have prize submissions open until December 28th as well. So feel free to check out the website and figure out how to get some of those on in there as well. And if you're looking for even more GDQ events past that, Back to Black 2025, which is the upgrade to Unapologetically Black and Fast, will be live as well, February 6th through the 9th. That's going to be on the Games Done Quick Twitch channel, so right here, right where you are, unless you're watching the VOD, then you're on YouTube probably. But if you're here right now in this actual moment, you're in the right spot. This is going to be a charity event that's going to be benefiting Race Forward, so be sure to catch the action. It has an incredible cause. Be sure to get your donations in for that as well. You can actually also type !BTB in the chat. That gives you the event schedule. And if you want to find out some more about the all-black speedrunning community, feel free to type !BAF. That's going to get you some more information on that as well. So I'm excited for GDQ. I'm excited for Back to Black. It's going to be a lot of great stuff. But I'm also excited, more urgently, I would say, for this episode in which we're diving into some maybe silly, some maybe awful superhero games. The first one that we have on here is actually one that I'm super pumped about, and I actually think it's a good game. I like this game. It does have its silliness to it. I'll be honest, but as I'm going to hold this up right here, you can see that I'm a massive Power Rangers fan, and I've been wanting to figure out a way to get this next game on my show for a while because I love it so much. It is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo, and it's going to be run by Mr. R. Knight. So, Knight, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, Conception, thank you so much. And we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo here, but on commentary, I have a special guest, someone who knows a lot about the history of this run, more than I do, Butters BB. Butters, thank you so much for joining me today.
You make me blush. I'm happy to be here, buddy.
I have you take over as soon as we start the timer here.
Right on. Yes, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the classic SNES.
Mm-hmm.
There is a second game on the SNES, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the game, but quite a bit different.
Yes.
And we're going to start the timer when Kim is active.
Right on.
We're going to start right about now.
All right, let's get to it. So first things first, we're playing as Miss Amy Jo Johnson, Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. Look, undisputedly the best speedrun character in this game. She is super duper top tier. Reason being, look at her moving. She is just trailblazing, running along. It might not seem that fast at first, but trust me, when you see the other Rangers, this is blazing fast. She's easily the fastest in human form. Oh, there we see a combo cancel. Love it. You do 3 hits, then cancel with forward movement. Do 3 more hits. This is something that the task figured out. It's faster than just doing the full-on 4-hit combo. Also, she has very long legs, hence why she's doing these jump kicks, so she doesn't have to run all the way up to hit these people.
I think she's got the shorts on, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's rocking them shorts.
Yep.
Yeah, every cishet boy's first crush, Kimberly.
If you're of a certain era, for sure. I think we're all a little bit on the older side too. I've been able to enjoy that as a kid.
Okay, yeah. Anyone in the 90s.
Yeah.
Now,
only 90s
this is
kids
the silly block, right? So here's the first instance of silliness. They put a lot of effort into differentiating the human forms, not so much the Ranger forms. Rather than actually, giving unique sprites to every Ranger, they did the Red Ranger sprite and decided, all right, our job here is done. Every Ranger is just a recolored Red Ranger. Even Kimberly, the one that explicitly had a skirt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so I mentioned before, like, Kimberly's the best for speedrunning, like, mostly because of her human form. You know, she's incredibly fast. However, her ranger form also has some really, really neat things, namely the fact that she has a bow. She's the only character with a projectile. So, as you could imagine, that makes her very, very useful for a speedrun, because that means she doesn't have to go across the screen for every single enemy. Now, this is the all rangers category, meaning you are going to see every single ranger. I'm going to withhold my opinion on each ranger and as far as differentiation until I actually get to them when they show up. But something to keep in mind here is that if this was a regular any percent run, you'd be seeing a lot more of Kimberly. Look at that. Oh, one hit combo. Good job.
Insurance.
Yeah, usually those usually those purple guys take multiple hits, but if you hit it at just the right time, they're all dead. Oh, I am so jealous. You actually got the arrow to work on that car. For whatever reason, if you don't play the game properly, that arrow will power down and not kill everything by that red car. It has killed most of my runs, and I really, really hate it. Don't ask me how it works, because I can never figure it out. All right, here we go. Bones, our first boss. Also, I didn't comment, but the music in this game absolutely slaps.
It does. Can attest.
All right, so this first form is pretty straightforward. You just do 4 combos over and over and over again. Whatever. There you go. All right, now he reforms. Now he has no arms. Now, you might think that you could save time by not doing the full 4-hit combo because, you know, then he would reform, right? We timed it out, trust me. Just doing 2 4-hit combos is actually the fastest method of doing it. And yeah, then the full 4-hit combo on the head. Very good stage 1. Good job.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
All right, now Trini. So, in the any percent run, this stage is actually still the same. You use Trini in the stage for both any percent and all rangers, and I'll explain why later. For now, though, let's comment a little bit about some character differences. Right off the bat, you'll notice she is not running as quickly as Kimberly. She's not the slowest, but she's certainly not as fast as Kim. There's our the tried and true 3-hit combos, followed by a 3-hit combo. Some nice throws. All right, so stacking. Stacking is the name of this game. You might notice that Kimberly's throw is different from Trini's. All the human rangers have different throws. Now Trini's has a pretty good throw. It's like medium distance or so. Nice little air kick in order to line them up. Good little low kick to take care of the barrel. Boom. Beautiful. And the idea is you want to stack them as much as possible so that, you know, you get the most mileage out of your combos. You know, hitting them out of the air so they land at the other guy's feet. That's a little strategy that I picked up on personally. Boop. Boop.
A little bit of improv.
Yeah, this is kind of awkward. Yeah, a little improv. Now, one thing, you notice that you got hit by a knife there. So if you run up to them and time it right, then, you know, you can get your hits off before they knife you. But sometimes you have to get just a little bit closer because the other one isn't lined up properly, and then you get knifed in the face. It is what it is. Waste a little bit of time, but it's inevitable. It's part of running. Go. Hit out of the air, so at the feet, nice and lined up. Boom. And good. So now we go to the ranger section. Now, the ranger portion... Oh, there's our hint to the next boss. One of the harder bosses in this game, we'll say. We'll explain why later. Now, ranger form here is like the reason that we're using Trini, namely because of the boss fight. She has the best boss fight. I'll explain why later. Right now, he's just killing things off screen. Whatever. We already know exactly when things are going to spawn, so there you go. Boop, boop. Now, stage 2 ranger section. This is one of the hardest levels in the game for speedrunning. So just a heads up, you'll see why. It's also one of the most interesting ones. Now, good old air kick in order to line up the purples. And here we go. Beautiful. So that was the climb. You're going to see another one in a little bit. That climb is tricky. It takes a lot of practice. You got to get good positioning. You want to make sure you're going fast. You don't want to get hit by anything because that would completely throw off the loop. Or the cycle, sorry. Okay, so in ranger form, you have 2 throws. You have like the long air throw, and you have like the ground pound throw, where you just kind of like, you know, drive them into the ground. The drive is... Oh, is he gonna go for it? There it is. Good boy. I like it, Knights. Ah, yes, the walking on air skip. There we go. This was kind of discovered. This was kind of discovered by some random hero on the SDA forums, actually. Back when this, back when they were first looking to run this game. And there's a skip. Normally, you have to hit some barrels there and make them blow up. But with the skip, you just go straight through. Now, the one bad thing about the skip is that you have to get that bomb. If you didn't do the skip, then you don't have to get the bomb. As a result, it doesn't really save much time. If anything, it kind of breaks even, but it looks cool, and rule of cool, you got to go for it. All right, so there you go. The ground pound is usually what is the main throw. It's faster than the long throw and lines up nicely with the enemies, but there are certainly situations where you're going to use the long throw, such as right here, because you can kill that thing in the air. Boop. Now, as far as where that particular skip came from before, there was someone on the SDA forums that said that they found something weird that happened when they bombed down there. And then I tested it out and was like, oh dang, this is actually a skip. Awesome. Another thing, actually, the whole reason we used Trini is because of that early SDA thread. Because while it wasn't particularly optimized, the run that came up with at the time was quite slow compared to what it would end up becoming. It did actually give us some good insight on some good strats. Especially with this, because there was a guy that kind of accidentally figured out why you should use Trini in the stage. And we're going to see why in just a sec once we get to the boss. But first, we've got to keep lining stuff up, keep killing things. Here we go. Boop. So yeah, these are the barrels in question. We skipped over them a little earlier, but we have to do them there, unfortunately. All right, now we have one of the tougher bosses in this game.
Begins.
Oh, yes.
Yes. RNG is the thing here. So we're going to go up on this platform. Good. Ah. Okay, you see how we just did a 4-hit combo? Yeah. Trini can do that consistently. No one else can. This was discovered by someone on the SDA forum. Now, that cool long combo we just did, that was discovered by me. Makes the fight harder, but certainly faster. So you can, loop them. In the task, they loop them quite a bit, but the task also uses Kimberly and is able to get full combos off with Kimberly, which is theoretically possible, but have fun actually trying to do it, because oof. All right, stage 3. Here is the boy, Billy. Now, this game's in this Billy block, right?
Well, for this episode,
Billy
it is.
A big reason for that.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Billy's animation. Someone on the creative for this game did not care for Billy as a character or a person. I don't know, because they made him kind of a joke. So he's kind of wonky, but look at that low kick. That low kick is some good stuff right there. All right, so he looks pretty silly and he plays pretty silly. He's by far the slowest run speed. His throw is absolutely abysmal, but he has probably the best low kick of the game, possibly tied for second. It's a very, very good low kick. Now, this is all Rangers. In a normal speed run, you would not be using Billy, unless you're doing a Billy % run for the memes. Nice little jump, little jump attacks. It's kind of faster with the low hanging wall there. Yeah, that's exactly how martial arts kicks in the air, right?
It's all in the shoes that he's wearing.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is in the actual Power Rangers show, they explicitly cast people that were rather athletic, martial artists, gymnasts, things like that. That includes Billy. Billy was, just as jacked as anyone else on that show. But they gave him oversized clothes and glasses because he's supposed to be the nerd, right? But the way that they translate that in the game is he's got to be... He looks... They animate him like he's fat, basically.
We all know Billy
is
the most fit, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he looks like he has asthma. Look at him. Or at least he did, because now he's going to get his blow up.
And he's there he is.
Now he's fit.
There's the Billy we know.
Yeah. Now, one thing about this, so right now, we do that stage transition. It's actually possible to jump early, during this screen transition. And if you jump just right, then the eye guy sprite is all garbled up when he falls, and it looks really cool. It saves a slight amount of time because you don't have to screen scroll. But if you mess it up, then the game freezes. And then you just gotta reset. That's cool. Little, that guy's never gonna catch you.
I think it's the only time you crawl in the game, too.
He's always... Yeah, it's the only time you crawl, and that guy, he chases after you. He's putting the bare minimum of effort. He's never catching you. You have to go out of your way to try to get caught by that guy. Now, one thing is, getting hit by little flames here, it's easier to just go through it. You don't have to wait. Like, health really isn't that much of an issue in this game. All right, so yeah, you hit the guys out of the air in order to put them at the feet. That's a little strat that I came up with.
Well, there goes our stable platform we were standing on.
Didn't quite get the hit. It's okay to miss that kick. It's not really that big a deal. It's a cycle anyway. It's just a little fun thing to do.
But we don't want to miss the cycle either.
Well, we don't want to miss the cycle, no.
Straight here.
Doesn't matter yet, but you'll see. All right, so don't be jerks. There we go. Good.
Got it.
Good.
Beautiful.
Very good. So that's a little. So that's kind of tricky in any percent run, but significantly trickier in this because Billy's attack is slower. But we got it. So good job. Also, you notice that he did that little twirl. That's a very unique thing that Billy has compared to the other characters. He has probably like the coolest looking attack, but for speedrunning, it's not good. It's the worst thing you could possibly do is make that combo longer. Can you get it?
No skip.
So he was going for the fire skip there. That's something that I discovered. It's really tricky and hard to do, but again, looks cool if you're able to get it. Alrighty. So this is the only stage with water. Water in SNES games is like any other water stage in SNES games. Not exactly the most riveting, fast-paced gameplay, but it is kind of a cool novelty. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Thankfully, it's only the stage.
I guess you could say the run is going swimmingly now.
Yes, absolutely.
There it is.
There it is. Someone had to do it.
Now, I've talked about how Billy's like the slowest in this game, right? So you might be wondering why it is that this is the stage in particular that we use for Billy. And really, here's what it comes down to. It's the stage that he loses the least amount of time on. That's the main reason you use Billy on this stage compared to any other. Also, you might notice that he did the air kick to get rid of those guys. That's because, there's a ledge there, so they actually just fell off the ledge and the game just registers that as them dying. So, there you go. Swimming. I always wondered if there's something toxic about this water when I was a kid because it's like all purple.
Maybe just filled with Jello.
Maybe it's the Ivan Ooze's ooze. Just,
Also, see that little crack there between the pillars? Like, as a kid, I was always trying to get between those cracks. I always thought there had to be something down there, but now it's just an aesthetic thing. All right, Eye Guy. Now, this is like the one part of the game where Billy's attack is actually really, really good. Like, this is almost... Like, I could almost say, yes, this is something where Billy legitimately completes it faster than any other ranger. I wish I could say that, but no, Kimberly still is faster on this because of a certain critical hit that was discovered by the task that a certain world record holder actually got in regular gameplay.
Which may or may not be me.
Yeah, may or may not.
The brag.
Not naming names or anything.
Yeah.
All right, so then we go into the last form. This form can be annoying if he wants to be. So one thing is that Billy's like multi-hit move against like any other boss like knocks them away, whereas he gets every single hit on this one particular boss. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, that was a good fight. Good fight.
And the thing is too, the second phase is random, so you have to be ready to basically make those jump hits.
Yeah. Yeah, so ideally he stays low so you get the combo, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. Zachary. Stage 4. Area 4, whatever.
This is my favorite song too.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think stage 1's probably my favorite song. Now, Zach also has an awesome low kick. You notice that, he's not Kimberly fast, but he's certainly not as slow as Billy. Now, this is one of my biggest contributions to the speedrun. I tested every ranger on every stage and discovered, much to my surprise, that Zach is actually, like in a non-task setting, Zach is actually faster on the stage than Kimberly. And the reason is because of that low kick. You notice that, he really stretches his leg out there and it's rather fast. The way that enemies line up in this particular stage, oftentimes they're like just out of reach of like landing like a regular combo, but his leg is enough to catch both of them. So he ends up being faster on this particular stage. Very useful. Chandeliers. But yeah, this stage has, so that's the example right there. You see how those two enemies, they can't jump over? You're not going to get a regular combo with that, but you are able to do the low kick and combo them that way. There is like an RNG element to the stage because sometimes you just get bad patterns or like your leg just barely misses one of them.
And also the turrets as well are random.
Yeah. But yeah, so you might be wondering, oh, why didn't you just throw that enemy? Zach's throw isn't that great. He has one of the slower throws, unfortunately. It looks really interesting the way he throws them. He kind of defies gravity when he does it. It's impressive, but it's not. It's not very useful for a speedrun. There it is. But yeah,
for the fans,
not the greatest throw, but there you go. There are some times where you get to use it. And there we go. Go to Ranger form. Now all of a sudden you get slightly taller. Okay, cool. Now we got the black eye. We got the black eye putties. Literally no difference, but they have black eyes now, so it's scarier, I guess. You know, they're serious. Yes. The donation reading portion of the game.
You got to have an auto scroller.
Yeah,
it is a
wait. The Super Nintendo my phone's ringing. You know who that is, Butters?
Who is it?
It's time being wasted on its elevator stage.
Got him.
There you go.
Got him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you can avoid damage if you want to, or you could not avoid damage.
You could do backflips.
If you want it, yeah. Like if you want, you could just stand there in place and make a sandwich or something. You know, whatever. But yeah, there's no RNG here. It's all fixed, so whatever. Although we are about to come up to another climb. So there was like 2 big climb portions in stage 2. This one also has one, so there we go. Go.
With these climb sequences, all I ever think about is how long it took me to realize you could jump off the walls on the side.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we'll just ask questions later.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that kind of saves time here with Zach over Kimberly is that Zach has his up attack, and there are actually pits in the stage. You know, the pits are instant death, right? So if you just want to, use the up attack on enemies that are grounded so you can push them off stage, you can do that. Kimberly cannot do that because her arrow doesn't have that function. So it's a nice little thing you can do with Zach. So yeah, you hit them off so that they go off the, into the bottomless pit off screen. There we go. Very good. Those turrets, I always thought those turrets were manned by B. What do you think?
Ooh.
There we go. Yeah,
you get to time that just right. I usually try to line up the Ranger with the antenna, and it's just the amount of time for the bomb animation to run out.
Yeah. All right, so this boss, the start is the most hectic. There it is. So kind of bad luck there, but you're okay. Like the knife is like the worst thing that he could do.
And the dragons.
Like you lose. Oh yeah, you're right. The dragons.
Ooh.
But that's why the knife's a problem.
There we go. And also, you can't attack Genie too quick because he'll teleport very quickly, as we just saw.
Right. But generally speaking, yeah, once like the first hit is the most hectic because you don't know what his attack's going to be, and some of his attacks are easier to deal with than others. But once you get the loop going, he shouldn't be able to attack again. And that is Zach. That is stage 4. And now we finally go to the leader of the gang, Jason. So Jason, he's basically on Area 5 because Billy would be way too slow on Area 5. Like Zach, you're already going to do stage 4. Trini, you're already doing stage 2. Kimberly is faster on most of the stages, but the reason that she's specifically used for stage 1 is because she gets the most use out of her arrows in that stage. This particular stage, Zach is good for a number of reasons. Now, you'll notice that his throw is like the shortest range, but it's fast, which is nice. It lines up very nicely in the human section here. With his throw, lines up nicely because you have to. Yep, there we go. Like you have to do a lot of lineups, and thankfully his throw is just close enough that usually you can get good combos off. Billy cannot do that. Billy would be suffering on the stage.
And one thing to point out too, it's sometimes challenging with throwing in this game with the D-pad.
It can be, yeah. Let's see here. Go. But to be clear, Jason would be faster on stage 3 than Billy. Like Jason's actually is low key rather good on stage 3. Like he's only slightly slower than Kimberly, but ignoring the critical hit at least. But yeah, just Billy loses way too much time on stage. So, and Jason actually has some good strats on the stage. So yeah, Jason's the best pick for stage 5. So that's Kimberly, of course. Go. Alright, there's a hint for the next boss. And finally, we actually have a ranger form that looks
looks like him, yeah.
Literally the only one.
The rest were mimics.
Alright. Yeah. Oh, so now that we're on the last stage, well, the last regular stage, we'll talk a little bit more about character differences. So the characters have a lot of differences, like in human form, but ranger form is a lot more subtle. I mean, for one thing, just appearance-wise, they look a lot more similar. But like attack-wise, there's some little differences here and there. Like Trini's attack is slightly faster than everyone else's, hence why she's able to actually get a full combo off on the second boss that no one else can do, at least not too consistently. See here, I think like see, Kimberly has really good range on her attack, not just because the bow, just like a regular attack has good range. Jason has pretty good range on his sword too. Like Zack's, I think, is slightly slower than the others. Like I feel like his attack just seems a bit slower compared to the other characters. I mean, Billy's is the slowest though, because he does like a twirl for his last hit, which looks really cool, but you know, not very useful for a speedrun, unfortunately. Also, yeah, you can do kind of fun things with the lasers on the stage. Yeah, like if you line it up properly, then the puppies actually get comboed by the lasers. Go for a little trip up. Nice kick. You can do the other one. Up. There you go. So yeah, that's a nice little skip there. Usually you're supposed to like kind of wait for them to shoot the gun and then tactically, you know, go in there. But if you time it just right, you can jump right over the bullets and kick them in the face, and it's very satisfying. All right. Now we're going towards a more hectic part of the run. So this part, like, let's see here. Usually, like, it's very easy to kind of understand where everything's coming from, when things are coming out, like how the spawns work and everything. But this particular, like, part of the stage is a lot more hectic than usual, and it's hard to get good lineups. Mr. R. Knight's actually done a very good job of coming up with fairly consistent strats here. But either way, it tends to look kind of hectic.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
Chaos.
Okay, there you go. Thankfully, that guy was able to walk slightly closer because he was just out of range before.
Oops.
So, that's one thing that's annoying. Sometimes they, like, hop backwards. That's a big time waster, because if they hop backwards and you hit them, then they just, like, get knocked down and then get back up, and you only got, like, one weak hit off on them. You want them to just stay standing until you get the full combo. So there's gonna be, big honking laser that looks a lot more intimidating than it actually is. Like, that should do a lot more damage than it does, doesn't it?
I used to think the sound of the laser was terrifying.
I know, right?
Blame you.
It's so foreboding and intimidating looking and everything. So you think it'd be like an insta-death thing or something, but no. It's basically about as powerful as a police
And
knife.
you have to admire the computers they have in this lab, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Nice. You managed to avoid that, getting hit by that thing. Good job. Oh, you can also do like an air throw, which looks cooler than regular throw, but you know, the distance, you know, it's usually not as fast as regular throw, but there are times where you need to go throw them just a little bit further, and also sometimes it's just cool to do because it looks fun. All right, so this boss, you go into a corner, you jump, he does the bomb, and then you fully combo him. Sometimes he gives you good patterns, you like stay standing like that, so you can get another hit off. The bombs waste a little time. But sometimes he just jumps at you, sometimes he does that. I mean, the more grounded he is, the better, because you want to get the combos. There we go. Not too much to him, really. Yeah. There you go. Yep. Ah, you got hit by the slash. It's okay.
You got hit once. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. We'll live. We'll survive. On red health, the Red Ranger. Good job. Or actually, it's more pink. Whatever. All right, now we come to the last part of the game, the final boss fights. All right, here we go. Now, this first Megazord up. Now, so first you do dash attacks. Then you do another dash attack. Then another dash attack.
And then maybe another.
Then maybe another dash attack. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to this boss. You just do dash attack over and over again. Now, because he died in the corner, he's gonna like slowly meander forward before he blows up. So that wastes a little bit of time. But yeah, as of right now, this is the best strat we have. It's consistent. I've tried other stuff, but then the game it just wastes a bunch of time. Just corner combo him. It's fine. It's fine. Now, the real final boss. Now, when I was running this game, this is where runs went to die. You can play everything perfectly up to this point, and then just lose everything because this guy is pure RNG, and there was not a good strat for him at all. Since then, Dan Show, the former world record holder of this game, the guy that I used to go back and forth with and routed the game out with and was competing with and everything. I mean, he held the record for a good amount of time before Wiz Wario took it, and then finally Mr. R. Knight took it. But he discovered a strat in the corner in this boss fight, which is still kind of RNG, still difficult, but the idea is get him in the corner and cross him up over and over again with jump attacks. Let's see if we can get it. Up. No. Oh, hell yes.
And time.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. Wow.
Yeah. So credit to Dan Show for discovering that. It makes this run much more manageable.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Wow.
Yes, beautiful run. What was the final time on that?
Let me just check here for you. We got looks like a 28:26, so not terribly far off the PB there.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
Very good
That's
run.
very good.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we took
That is-
time for the bomb too.
Yeah. I guess just not 20-ish seconds wasted total across the run.
Wow.
It's pretty darn impressive. So
There it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Again, very, very, very satisfying ending. Everyone's very happy. I mean, I don't think that legally they are still like teenagers in high school, right?
think
I'm pretty
so.
sure that.
I'm gonna pretend they're wearing
Yeah,
seatbelts.
I'm pretty sure he's. Yeah. So for one thing, yeah, they're not wearing seatbelts. For another thing, like I don't think you're allowed to be transporting all those teenagers when you're under 18. But okay.
Yeah. There's some questionality here. That is for sure.
Yeah.
That Vulcan skull in the background just shrugging.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shouts to the Broken Skull. They made it. They managed to make it in the game. Good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they went through all the trouble of making those sprites. They really could have made them secret characters, right?
They
That
could
would have been
have.
great.
There is a 2-player mode
Yeah.
though. Right at the end when you get the code.
But not for Vulcan skull.
Yeah.
Sad.
No,
That
not for
is
Broken
such
Skull.
a tease, isn't it? I mean, that is a tease. 2-player mode. At first, it sounds awesome. Like, oh, really? 2-player co-op? That's so cool. But no, it's just versus mode.
Yeah.
Specifically for the final 2 encounters.
Yep.
I think the movie, the game has 2-player, but it's probably laggy. I don't know.
Probably. Probably. Can't imagine they put a ton of time into that movie tie-in.
Right.
But
I mean, the movie tie-ins, it has some charm to it. Again, it has bopping music. The graphics are good. The final boss fight with Ivan Ooze is legitimately epic. Like, I really like that. But gameplay-wise, like, this game is like an actual beat-em-up with combos and tech and stuff. Whereas that game is literally just jump attack over and over and over again.
yeah.
And whatever. It's a different game. It has its fans, so that's cool.
For sure. Well, thank you both so much for being here. This was an incredible run.
Yeah, thank
anything? Yeah. Would you like to plug anything or give some shout outs before we get ready for run number 2?
Yeah, so you can follow me over here on my Twitch channel. I stream Monday through Fridays, do Deathless challenges, and obviously I'll be at AGDQ 2025 running this game with my commentary couch. They'll be there, and yeah. Butters, you got anything?
It'll be a fantastic run. I mean, very good job of Star Knights. It was pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I got to have one of the OGs at least be somewhere, and I'm so glad you were able to do commentary and explain some of the history of the run.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be sure to be watching your run when you do it at GDQ as well, and as I'm sure that all the audience will be.
As they should.
Make sure to give a good fat donation, people.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Love it. Well, thank you both so much for being here. We are going to take a little bit of a break here as we get. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Awfully Silly. My name is Conception. If you're just tuning in, we're exploring some very silly or otherwise funny or whatever you want to call it, superhero titles. That's right. We kicked it off with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for SNES, which I think is a great game, but it does have its silly charm to it. So it fits the theme. I'm counting it. And we're going to be continuing right along here in just a moment. But I did want to remind everybody of just a few things as well. If you're watching, that means you probably like to support GDQ Hotfix. I think that's a safe assumption. So if you want to further support GDQ Hotfix, we highly suggest checking out the 2024 Season 4 t-shirt. That's right. We got our own merch. It's at theyeti.com/AGDQ. I actually already pre-ordered my shirt. I can't wait for it to come in. See my little Awfully Silly logo right there embroidered on the chest. It's a great shirt. Be sure to check it out. Additionally, GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, is going to be live from March 9th through the 16th. This is going to be an event that's benefiting the National Women's Law Center, so be sure to tune in, support when you can. It's a great cause, full of great speedruns. Be sure to check it out. If you want to get some more information about that, feel free to visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for some more information. All right, so as mentioned, and as you could probably see on your screen right now, we are moving right along with the superhero theme, and this next run is based off of an incredible movie, and I know the game is probably equally incredible. I think everyone's going to have a great time. It is Batman Forever, the arcade game. It's going to be run by Elrock. Elrock, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Conception. Hello, GDQ. I am Elrock617, back for the second time on Hotfix. Today I'll be running Batman Forever, the arcade game. As you can see here, this is a lovely gradient menu we have here, and I actually have this up for a reason. I wanted to point out that I'll be running this on the easy difficulty, which goes through easy, medium, and hard. Two things to note. Easy difficulty is not only the fastest difficulty, it's also the most difficult of the three, ironically enough. Hard is actually a lot easier, but it takes forever. Reason being, this game has a meter system, and meter drains a lot slower in easy, which means that we can't use as many powerful attacks, but we also get to utilize combos, and combos go faster than like the actual powerful stuff because that takes time. So anyway, leave it on easy. Go ahead and bump down to exit. Skip back to, I got to do some menuing here real quick. Next level keyboard menuing. So those, I will acknowledge that because of the original hardware setup for this game being so tricky, I have been given the go-ahead to run this on emulator. So there may be some weird graphical glitches, just so those know ahead of time. Also, check out these bright lights. And that's actually the reason why the original hardware is so tricky. The rack sound system is actually separate from the PCB board where the game operates from, which means that I would have to have like anywhere from 2 to 3 different pieces of hardware on my computer desk to get that to run that are very big. So no thanks. So anyway, this is Batman Forever Arcade, later ported to the PlayStation and Saturn. Those versions don't quite have the same charm that the original arcade version does, even though I do own the PlayStation version. This version is just completely in a class of its own. Look at those sleek visuals on this Batmobile. So photorealistic and movie-like. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop my credit in. It starts. Now we have our two characters. Batman is obsolete. I'm just going to point that out right now. Robin is actually the character we're going to be playing as, so it's ready on timer?
Yep, we are ready. Right. Give us a countdown when you are.
3, 2, 1, go.
Robin.
Even says his name for us. How nice.
That's beautiful.
Get this neat little bat wing with the clip on the top. Pop out the top there. So things to know about our moveset. Dive kick is the bread and butter of our moveset. It's very good. We're going to be doing it a lot. In fact, these opening enemies, it just kills them in one hit. Take them down, get some gadgets. So here's our first power-up. For those who don't know, Robin actually can go Super Saiyan. That's just a thing he's allowed to do in this version of the canon. Didn't mean to do that low kick, so that cost me some time. We'll be doing some more dive kicks. As mentioned, we have a meter system. Every time we level up, that big supernova flash happens. We're gonna get another one too. We're gonna be seeing this one quite a bit. If you want to stay at level 3 quite a bit. So there is the preview of things to come. We're able to take the guy with a flip kick combo, do another one here. This is only as consistent as it is at level 3, which is why I wanted to be at level 3 before I started. Come here, you. Come here. All right. So that coin flip is fixed. It always shrinks us. Being shrunk is actually not a bad thing in this game, though. Yeet! I don't know why I threw that tire. I just felt tired. I just wanted to do it.
Nice.
So now that we're at 3 meters, we get to do this flip kick that allows us to go infinite. And not only that, we can turn the flip kick to hit more enemies, which allows us to do really good crowd control. We also get this. Every time you hit 40 hit combo, Jim Carrey whispers sweet nothings in our ear. It's wonderful. Easily the best thing about the jank. You can also, as you can see, jump cancel out of flip kick and go right back into dive kick to start the combo again, which is really powerful. Ooh, good thing I was knocked down there. Those pillars would have killed me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and power up again. Doing the flip kick does drain meters, so we have to mind our resources the whole time we're active here. We're flashing all kinds of different colors, you know, we're just having a good time. Move on over here, do some more flips. We're basically just spamming guile moves. There we go. Collect more power-ups. I talked a little bit about gadgets, but I'll talk a little bit more about them. If I ever get down to 2 meter, you will definitely be seeing use of gadgets. Some are definitely better than others. Backhaul in particular is quite good. Robin's also kind enough to announce every gadget every time we pick it up. That was bad. Another thing to note about this game, enemies are incredibly dangerous. When an enemy pops up on the screen like that and they charge at you, they have an active hitbox the whole time. You don't want to get hit by that. Unfortunately, I get hit by that a lot. Now, probably will get hit by it a lot. I didn't think that guy was coming out just yet, but okay. Okay, so we clear the first stage. End of every stage, we get a bonus item. We always take hollow mode. You never take a different item. This mystery is also fixed. It shrinks all these enemies. We're just going to step on them, get our free power-ups. So here's the cool thing about hollow mode. Hollow mode duplicates your sprite, which means you get to just go into a flip kick combo that looks like this. In no way unnatural at all. We're just spinning on the dance floor, acting a fool, you know, just things Robin gets to do. Oh yeah, we're gonna power up again. Every time you power up, you also kill every enemy on the screen that doesn't have boss stats. Very, very useful. You know, on the float, everybody walk the dinosaur. Oh yeah, you can get hit by random bottles from crowd participants, which is not friendly. All right, I'm at 2. I kind of went back at 3, so I'm gonna throw some batarangs. Batarangs are definitely one of the better gadgets. They can be thrown in front of you and do go behind you. They function like a batarang should, and they're great. All right, so more enemies here. You're gonna notice a lot of the enemies in this game pretty much look exactly the same. These two-faced goons with the half-colored hoods. Very common sprite in this game. Also flashing lights, which you should have already known with the supernova stuff. Take another hollow mode. Activate hollow mode to start. Enemies, walk the dinosaur again. Back down to 2. This is where we're gonna be seeing most of the game. Get to 3. Beat a bunch of enemies, get back down to 2, level back up to 3, rinse, repeat. The true experience is in the ASMR and the crazy colors. I want that. Like, what game can duplicate what Robin is doing here? Like, this is just, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I actually had the PC port of this game as a kid, and didn't understand the tech because, you know, why would you? I kind of need to get that out of here. Learned about it as an adult thanks to some other arcade grinders. Big shout outs to, among others, Fantastic Planet, Lord BBH, and Gundam X2 for exposing this game. And now we get to show it like this. I need one of those. There we go. That was a little sketch. I was stuck on level 2 with the worst gadget in the game. Stun Bomb is actually worthless. Like, I would rather have no gadget than Stun Bomb. Flip kick these idiots. Go again. I could go for longer combos, but I like the whispers. What can I say? Do that big overhead there. Didn't intentionally do that, but it's fine. Okay, get off me. So one thing to note, even though most of the enemies look the same, the guys in the red hoods are the most dangerous. They actually carry weapons. They have machine guns, they have grenades. Took care of them. Now we're on to our boss, Tassel, or as I call him, Tasshole. And take him out with the simple flip kick combo, and that's actually the case with most bosses in this game. The same stuff you're doing against enemies, you can just do against them, and it works just as well. One exception is this stage. Stage 4 is something. That actually will kill me if it hits me, so I'm glad I got out of the way of that. We're gonna activate Hollow Mode. We're not gonna be taking as much crazy advantage of it this time. This stage is sequenced weird. We actually are gonna have 3 enemies appear at a time. Now take them out, and the whole time I'm gonna be collecting these Super Batarangs. Super Batarangs are exclusive to the stages where they appear only. Any other gadget can transition over from stage to stage, where Super Batarangs, the stage you get them in, they're gone at the end of the stage. Because they fulfill a specific purpose. In this case, they're used for the boss fight. So this stage is basically an auto-scroller. We're just kind of killing time and wasting enemies and waiting until our big guy shows up. Get out of the way. Also, that crane thing kills us if it touches us, so I'm dodging as much as I can. One exception. If we're in flip kick mode, we're invincible. We don't die from that. That's great. But, oh yeah, we can knock them down too. I actually don't want to do that because we already have the power-ups. But stuff happens. Take them out. Okay, so here's the helicopter. Here's where everything do Super Batarangs. Okay, just throwing it back there. The gunfire actually doesn't hurt us. It's just supposed to look scary. Which it does do a good job of. You go enemies to clean up. Ultra combo. Oh, that didn't work. Guys. Thank you. Okay, on our way out. Statue of Liberty in the background for those that missed it.
Famously in Gotham.
Two-Face has such great quotes in this game. They can't be denied. So this stage is actually really difficult. We don't have as much room to move around, and enemies charge in from all sides. And as mentioned before, when they're dashing, they have hitboxes. They can and will hit us. Like right there, where I took a death. That's not something I wanted to have happen. So taking a death is bad. We have 3 lives, which is nice, but the downside, which is a pretty big downside, is that if we take a death, we lose a meter. So if we're at 3, we go to 2. For a 2, we go to 1. So I had to do some dodgy movement there to make sure I get my meter back. Like I said, this stage is really hard. I'm used to taking my first death in this stage if I take deaths at all. It is possible to deathless this game, but this stage is one of the gatekeepers of the no-miss for sure. Also, enemies have random damage values in this game, so if an enemy touches you with literally anything, it could just kill you. It's like, oh, that did 100% even though all you did was flick me in the cheek. Cool. Cool. It's honestly the prime difficulty with this game, even with all the crazy stuff you get to do and all the broken nonsense that you have access to. The fact that anything can just touch you and destroy you is the real aspect of the challenge of this game. Take that guy out. Okay, you're still alive. All right. Oh, yeah, that was really scary. I didn't want to get hit by that at all. Okay, so I have some work to do. Okay, these enemies, these robots are actually bosses that we're going to be seeing as enemies later in the game. But right now I need to make sure I can get my health back up. Every time you get a power-up, you get some health back too. It's a random amount, so wanted to make sure I could get that. That was really scary. I took a lot of damage from the guys right before that, and I was down to 2, and had to work meter, and yeah, scary stuff. So anyway, since my health's still a little bit lower than I would like it to be, I'm gonna go ahead and do some farming on that. If you get a 100-hit combo, he says that instead. Okay, Indestructible's good. This is actually the stage where we start getting random power-ups, which is really useful. They come from the little mystery question marks and the good or evil pickups that you see. Each one based on a different villain, Riddler and Two-Face, accordingly. So, Indestructible is exactly as it sounds. You're completely invincible. It's really, really strong. It does wear off after a time, though, because, you know, every star power is supposed to wear off. That's how it works. Take that. Another one coming up. This one's not fixed. Okay, so Hollow Mode is not what I generally want here. Hollow Mode's great, don't get me wrong, but what I'd rather have there is one called VR Mode. It turns every enemy in the immediate area into a one-hit KO. Really, really good, but I didn't get it, and that's okay. Hey, another Indestructible. Let's go. Hello? Okay, onto our bosses. Here we have Batman's big rogue feather.
Yep.
The most famous of Batman rogues. Okay, get that. Okay, I didn't quite expect to not have meter by the time Steve had to be confronted. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but the good news is I'm back to full resources. It does take a little bit of time for the stage to end because I had to gather all that stuff. We'll drop on the floor, check on our holo mode. As mentioned before, this game is incredibly neon. I may have mentioned that prior to the run, I don't remember, but this game is colorful.
I love it. Flashing colors bring entertainment to my eyes.
Big old supernova thing, wipe out some enemies. This guy's chasing me, I don't like that. See if I can drain a little bit more. Okay, cool. Ooh, indestructible farming, let's go. I wish there was more I could say. We're kind of just going to be doing things we've already been doing, just hoping to do it better, like not dying. And a lot of it's just, I'm kind of just on my toes here, trying to make sure I don't get hit by some merit hit. Like I got hit there, but I was invincible, so it didn't matter. Two-Face is going to pop in with his gun, fire at the background because this is a PlayStation era game. I should get the grapple gun. Grapple gun's not very good, but it's better than having two batarangs. Take these guys out. Let the spankings commence. Indestructible farming. Let's go. I think we're going to be shrunk. Nope. Okay. Sometimes that evil thing pops and it shrinks us, which is actually not a bad thing. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier. More indestructible. We're good for this. But I am going to go ahead and take some enemies out, try to get some power-ups. Okay, they're being kind of annoying. Oh yeah, the gun has friendly fire. Like those gunshots actually hit the guy who was right in front of him, which is, nice for us. Unfortunately, if the gun tags us, we're probably dead because it combos every single hit. Like it's not like you take a hit and you get iframes. Like it just hits every single time and you're probably dead. You have to precisely jump cancel out of it to get away from it, and it's not easy. Take all this, get this health, all that grunting. I'm not going to take the back haul here. Take you out. Don't know how I feel about the meter situation. Take him out. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm down to 2 bars. This is actually a really short room. It's just a boss fight against 2 bosses. Sugar and Spice. Who are really easy. Just had to flip kick them to death. So first goal, get back to 3. And that was the only goal. I didn't have another goal there. All right, cool. There we go. Off we go. Get really short room. Flip kick combo them and you're out. Break through the wall. So now we're in the streets of Gotham. Really safe place to be, as most people know. Nothing bad ever happens here. Even when it's neon. So the thing about that throw is automatic. If I'm ever doing that monkey flip style throw, it's not intentional. It's just an automatic trigger from being too close to an enemy, and it's actually not a good thing. Invisibility is a random power up that's worthless. Like, it's supposed to make it where the enemies don't see you, but it's AI. Of course they're going to see you. Take out these guys. This stage is actually normally pretty tough, but I shouldn't jinx it, but they're being somewhat cooperative. Go back there. I don't know how I hopped all the way back there in one swoop, but that was some serious sprite scaling, which this game does love to do. Very SNK style in that approach. Okay, get away from me. Get off that. Okay. Accidentally got a grab that I definitely did not want. Okay, so still haven't used holo mode. I wasn't sure if I should. We'll go ahead and do this. Take all these. Okay, there we go. That actually worked out. Drop the bomb. Take out these enemies. And we've just got 4 boss enemies that are just enemies we've already fought, but they have boss stats. So I can't kill them with a screen clear. I just have to do this, which is still incredibly effective, as you can tell. I'm going to get as many of these as I can. Sometimes power-ups bounce out of bounds, and you can't catch them. It's jank. Like, it's just what this game has led me to expect, right? More flippy nonsense. Take out Mohawk. He's the problem. Oh, another Mohawk. Okay. Going this way. From here, we're just progression through these enemies. This stage has some really cool sights to see, though.
Yeah, I'm loving this screen right now.
Drop the Nova. This car is the best thing in the game. It makes noise when enemies jump on it. Like it is rocking. It's so good. Take these guys out. Probably should have gotten more power-ups, but that's okay. Imagine Robin had superpowers. Can't you see? Okay, I don't know what that one did. Sometimes the good evil triggers, and I don't know exactly what it does. You saw there the guy's spin with the bow staff. That actually blocks flip kick and dive kick, so it's actually one of the only good weapons against us. That's why I try to take the Mohawk guys out as fast as I can. They can be a real threat. Like, they've actually killed me on wake up just by spinning the stick in place. It's pretty obnoxious. I think we're gonna have a coin flip here. Maybe a good one, though.
Fortune smiles.
Sweet.
Good.
I love that quote, too. It's like one of my favorite quotes from the movie. Tommy Lee Jones and his appropriate hamming. Let's check out these neon yellow duders. Flip, 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 flip. Okay, so this last segment's a little dicey. The boss fight's whatever, but the enemy groupings right before him can cause some issues. We've got a stat spin. We've got another one with boss stats. Like, this segment can cause some problems. Tassel without meter is actually an issue too, but once you have 3 meters, he's not a problem at all. He's just hyper aggressive and does good damage. But if we have flip kick, we don't care. Like, he comes to us and then he just gets keeled over. I'll take that, please, and thank you. Okay, so into what is effectively our end game. We're on to the last 3 stages. We go ahead and drop the Batmobile into the literal Batcave, since that's where we are now. At this point in the movie, Riddler and Dent had infiltrated the Batcave and essentially just blew it up. Just released a bunch of bombs and a bunch of bat stuff. Showed up on Halloween night. Things got ugly. So that's where we are as far as like movie progress. Move over here. I'm actually gonna. Oh, there he goes. You actually do get to see the Riddler sprite here in this stage. Take this out. Oh God. Okay, yeah, that was aggressive. Thank you. That guy got right in there and gave me the 1-2 a few times over. That was really scary. All right, so. Oof, no more indestructible farming. Okay. Don't really care about the bomb. As long as I'm in flip kick mode, it's not going to hurt me. So that was the whole goal there. That was weird. Can I get some meter, please? Yeah, that was strange. Anyway, here's our favorite saying. Batmobile's trashed. Anyway, second to last wave of enemies. We're going to be taking this guy out. I'm only got 2 meters, so I'm a little wonky on combo potential right now. I'm waiting for a giant meter to spawn. There we go. Just had to stall for time for a little bit. Wipe out all these goons. Move on to... Oh, there's a couple more. Okay. No problemo. Yeah, if you get a robot down to like 80 to 90%, it said kamikazes and throws its head off at you like that. You can destroy it once it's ready to start its takeoff animation, because what it's going to do is it's going to try and take off and do a dive attack on you that does a lot of damage. But if you can interrupt it before it goes skyward, then it's not a problem. It just goes away and it dies. Okay, I gotta be a little bit meter conscious here. Riddler's still being a troll. I took care of all the enemies, so here we're just kind of waiting through like an auto-scroller. I didn't want that to hit me. That's mean. Okay. Underneath the Batcave, we have Hollow Mode back. Got a little bit of work to do. There's some really tough enemy groups here, and I really don't have good meter equity right now. Okay, that's better. Much better. So we're only going to be seeing these 2 enemy groups here. These are, I believe, called the Masters, the guy in the green bodysuits. I'm not sure how they got that name. It could be exclusive to this game. And then these robots, which we saw as bosses earlier, which were just a prop for the Riddler. Cool thing about this room, though, if you get over this far, once we reach the next segment, if there's any enemies left, they automatically despawn and the boss fight starts. Pretty useful, and I like to try to go for that. I do have to take out a few enemies, though. Okay, so I can go over here. Okay, that's the one exception. But the rest all went away. So here's the real fever dream of a boss in this game. Here we have the Monarch Bat. It's another super batarang fight. I believe this is supposed to represent the bat that haunts Bruce Wayne's dreams, because he was going through a lot of psychiatric treatment at the time, and he kept seeing the bat he saw the night of his parents' murder, and it was really scary, and it terrified him, and he had like a lot of child trauma, and it was messy. But in this game, they decided to turn into a boss fight. So he's going to chase us around, avoid the fireballs. The sonic rings aren't that much of a concern. Fireballs, however, do a lot of damage. You can tell by the fact I got hit there. And he wasn't supposed to go that high. Okay, get me out. Get away here. I kind of have to play by his rules for a little bit. He's a really low health total, though. So he's going to despawn. He's going to come back. Okay. So when he gets that low, what he normally does is he tries to go to the back of the stage and cast a heal spell, where he just heals a bunch of his health back. We tried to prevent him from doing that. It worked that time. So here's the final stage. This stage is interesting. It's a room that rotates because they had the technology. I'm not sure if they should have done it, but they definitely did it. Take this back hole. This stage is actually kind of detrimental to our typical strats because it's really hard to group enemies when the room is spinning. So we're just going to do our best. Let enemies pop out. We're essentially fighting every enemy we've fought up to this point in the game in this room. Just sequentially. So we try with the normal two-face goons. That out. More pop out. These guys have guns, though, so they're more dangerous by default. Dive kick, please. Sometimes you miss. The stuff is wake up. There we go. Tassel wants a rematch. Not like we haven't killed him twice already. So long farewell. Take a big meter gain. We also, I think, get one healing item before the end, but this rotoscoping is something, isn't it?
Yeah, jeez.
Just spin around. Also, Riddler's poses are what make this stage. Like Jim Carrey is just strutting. Like this one here in particular, where he's got his hands out, like it's amazing.
He is doing the most right now.
He is super ham in this game. Couple more masters. Probably not gonna hear too many whispers here because again, it's hard to group enemies, so I kind of had to do a lot of jump canceling and take care of some robots. Okay, there we go. Music's good at least. They definitely try to do Danny Elfman proud here. Hello. Take that, thank you. Okay, we got the Mohawk guys now. As long as you get the drop on them, they're not that bad. I also do like these enemies for one reason. They're the only enemy in the game that actually acknowledge Robin as a character. Everybody else refers to like the bats or the bat. Whereas these guys actually refer to Robin as Bird Boy, which is accurate. So props to them for that. Sugar and Spice refights. Sugar went down easy. Spice is being annoying. Being really annoying. How am I not hitting you? Oh God. Okay. Haven't been hit with a spray in a bit. All right, that was annoying. So anyway, last two bosses. First one, we've got this. I gotta get this super batarang back here. So go to the tower. And we get this cool little FMV sequence. That will never not make me laugh.
Whee!
All right, and our our actual boss, Two-Face. Two-Face is supposed to be super difficult because he has a gun and he's really fast. But thankfully he dives to flip kick just like everybody else. It didn't get him in one cycle, though, which is unfortunate. Okay, that's going to finish him off. Time's going to be when Robin leaves the screen. And time.
Wow.
Woo. Good stuff.
Jeez, well,
only
what
one
a high
death.
octane run, yeah.
It goes a lot of places, that's for sure. couldn't fit awfully silly there, so I just went with awful.
We take those. We take whatever notoriety we can get. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jeez,
Gotham now has 2 heroes. Thank you, Colin. Also, look at the giant bat symbol on Batman's suit. Like, who tailored that?
That is not there in the movie either. Not like that.
No, it's not. It's silly. It's ridiculous, but that's the show. So
yeah,
that's in this show. I gotta admit, I love the animations of the capes, but the outfits are just like, why give Robin a leather suit? Like, what an idea, right? Like, but hey, we did it. 1 death, great run, underestimate. That was my other big thing. 26 minutes estimate for this is gonna be. I knew it was gonna be a challenge, but I was up for it. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I will be running this game again, same category at AGDQ Wednesday morning. That one's essentially going to be this, but an actual comedy routine to go with it. So hope y'all stick around for our next 2 runs. Superman 64, as we all know, is legendarily amazing. And Batman Vengeance is a game I've only played once and never wanted to play again. So someone better is going to do it this time. Anyway, Con, thank you so much for having me. GDQ, I'm signing off. Thank you all.
Thank you, L-Rock. That run was incredible. I think the fever dream descriptor is very apt in this case. So thank you so much for being here and doing that for us as you're prepping for your run at AGDQ as well. For everybody else. All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are exploring the breadth of the incredible superhero video game titles that are out there. We kicked it off with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Mr. R. Knight, crushed it as every Ranger you can play as in the game. Then we had as self-described and as described by L-Rock himself, a fever dream of Batman Forever, the arcade game, as we watched Robin go Super Saiyan over and over and over again. And we have another doozy up here for you in a second. But first, wanted to remind everyone just a few things. Namely, if you're not already in the GDQ Discord, what are you doing? Join the GDQ official Discord. Make sure you add the Hotfix role as well. That's going to get you your notifications on all the Hotfix content we got going on. And then while you're in the server, you can just keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with the staff, whatever you got in mind. So if you're interested, be sure to join. That's !Discord in Twitch chat. And that's going to get you all the information and the links you need to join. Additionally, if you are watching us from the future on YouTube, you probably already know this, but if you happen to be watching us live and you happen to miss out on any other future programming, mainline event runs or special event runs or other hotfix runs, you can always check out the VODs, and that's going to be on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/gamesdonequick is going to get you everything you need for all things GDQ related. So be sure to check us out. All right. So without further ado, we're going to dive into maybe I would say yes for my money's worth, the awful game, the #1 awful or silly game of all time, potentially, the one that everybody knows, and that is, of course, Superman 64, and it's going to be run by Brad Harmar. Brad, we long for the rings. Please provide us the rings.
All right, hi, Conception. I hate to break it to you, this is a fairly ringless run.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I can imagine him.
So I am joined by a member of my community, One Pint Too Many. We'll explain why he's here later, because he plays an important role into all this. So first thing we're going to do is we need to set the game to actually start on easy mode. That's important for the run to do the 80%. And we can do a countdown now. So in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Superman 64, a misunderstood gem of the N64 era.
An apologist.
So, One Pint, do you want to try and give some background on what the story of this game is?
Okay, sure. So, Lex Luthor and Brainiac, having probably freshly watched Lawnmower Man that was released in 1992, decide to create a virtual world and trap Lois Lane, Professor Hamilton, and Jimmy inside of a virtual world, and then create a bunch of nonsensical quests for Superman to accomplish to rescue them in a diabolical plot. I think that pretty much covers it. So that explains, of course, based on 1990s technology, why our open world is only populated by copy and paste enemies.
Yeah, so this game is based off of the Superman animated series that came out in the 90s. The actual name of this game is not Superman 64. It's Superman, The New Superman Adventures. So this game goes through a series of flight missions. You'd know them as the ring missions, but like I said, on easy, we don't have rings. And then some main missions where you're supposed to interact with a bunch of the baddies from the cartoon. We probably won't see as many as you're hoping to see.
Probably not. For anybody who's interested, these flight missions, aside from the missing rings that were mentioned, mostly involve throwing cars around for reasons. Also, blowing on tornadoes to put out tornadoes because there's tornadoes for reasons. And occasionally running errands for people, or possibly rescuing. Again, for reasons.
So these are one of the more common enemies in the game. These are the Dark Shadows. For the most part, they are a one-hit kill. So you hit them, you take them out, and that's that. They're more of a nuisance than an enemy. And they show up quite a bit. Do you want to talk about Superman's powers in this game? Because we're about to see the first instance of that.
Okay, yes. So Superman has to sort of, he doesn't just have his powers in this virtual world. No, Lex and Brainiac are far too, words hard, complicated. So he's going to have to collect these little orbs here to collect either his frost breath or heat vision, etc. And here we go, tornadoes.
So one of the gimmicks to this game, something that's well known for, is this game actually has multiple screen rendering sizes. So right now we are playing at 60% screen size. I set that up before the run starts. The tornadoes are one of the few things in this game that's really, really dependent on the render size of the game, because the smaller the screen renders, the faster the game runs. So if you have the screen set very small, you can take out the tornadoes very, very quickly. For the run of this being done at AGDQ, there will actually be a bid war to determine the screen size. So it could be anywhere from the 20% size, where it's about the size of a postage stamp, to full screen, where the game runs dreadfully slowly.
Start saving your money now, as you're going to want to donate towards it.
All right, so we're up to our first main mission, the dam.
All right.
What are we doing at the dam, One Pint?
What are we doing at the dam? Well, there's bombs because, even though it's a virtual world, you got to have bombs. So the idea that the game, what the game wants you to do is to sort of navigate through the dam and then use frost breath on 2 bombs which are hiding throughout the level. And in the meantime, or like you're supposed to encounter the first of the supervillains, which they have recruited in order to stop you, that being Mala. But we're not going to see Mala. Nope. Because you're going to notice Brad has, Superman in particular, has this affinity for clipping through walls.
And floors.
And floors. So Mala is going to be stood up on her date with Superman.
And just like that, we are through the dam. So we never actually saw the villain there. So one of the things that really helped to change this route, I did it at the beginning of that mission. There's a new out of bounds clip, new from like a year ago. That's the corner clip. So when Superman actually does his flight takeoff animation, the animation is so large that if you are facing a corner, turn away from the corner, and then turn into the corner as the animation plays, Superman will just get pushed out of bounds every time. It takes almost no effort to do, and since there are so many 90-degree corners throughout the map, it's incredibly easy to get out of bounds in places that used to be very difficult.
Hey, chat, can you give me a whoosh?
All right.
Chat, do that.
So this is the first auto-scroller. We're waiting for this little skateboarding kid to make his way to the end of this ravine. There's not a whole lot to do here. So, did I actually hit you? Oh, I did. Okay. So, One Pint, do you want to explain why you are my commentator for this round?
Because I'm responsible for this atrocity.
Because you are responsible for this.
Brad came of age with the N64 and has a love for all things N64, and also has many times talked about his love of awful games, and I, in chat one night, in my best attempt to troll, said, "Oh yeah, well maybe you should play Superman 64." And now Brad has a world record.
Yeah, so I found it in a used game store, and I was like, I will buy it as a joke. I'll buy it, and we'll try to play it. And I got stuck at the dam level, and I was like, oh yeah, this is terrible. And then the next time when I tried to actually play it, and I saw how easy it was to get out of bounds, and the fact that Superman can just fly, I was like, oh, there's something here. There is a way to make this game fun, even if it's not the intended way to play this game.
I love that.
So this, what Brad's doing right now is not just pausing for commentary. This, in fact, is one of the means by which we limit lag in the game.
Yeah, since the game likes to run very slowly, one of the things that causes the game to lag is rendering the buildings and the other landscape. So anytime there's just a timer counting down, we force Superman to fly upward so that the camera pans up and keeps all the buildings from appearing on screen so that the game can run as fast as possible, which sometimes, as you can see from these buildings coming on screen, is only about 10 frames per second. For missions like these, where it's the mine droppers, they are always on a set pattern to start, so it is possible to optimize these levels. However, if you ever make any sort of mistakes with... Oh, all right, thanks, Superman. If you make any mistakes with catching those mine droppers, they turn around and go the opposite direction. So if you fall off of the optimized pattern, you have to figure out exactly how to find the enemies again, because they will just keep doing their thing. All right, What's next for us? The robot arena? Perfect. Okay, so we are almost to the second main mission. So that takes place at the LexCorp building. One Pint, do you want to tell us what's going on at LexCorp?
Yes, please, I can do that. So there are 5 notes which Lex Luthor has left on his virtual desk, which is being guarded by Brainiac, in fact. And this is going to happen really quick, which is why I'm explaining this now. But because Brainiac and Lex Luthor did not program the game properly, there's a little glitch with Lex Luthor's office door. And Brad's not even going to have to jump at a 90-degree angle to a wall in order to do this. It turns out that if Superman just gets up and close and personal and really, really intimate with this door, he's just going to walk right through. So here we go. We're going to get to the door. It's locked.
There we go. You know, locked doors, not really a problem.
Right there. So Brad's going to fly over top of Brainiac. Brainiac's going to stand there going, ah! While Superman reads these notes very, very quickly.
Superman also has super reading skill. He can read in 1 frame.
And even though he can clip through walls, in a final act of vandalism, Superman decides to break through the window in LexCorp.
So when actually trying to do PB attempts, world record attempts for this game, the next mission coming up here is actually the Run Killer. This is a 5-enemy fight, and this fight is much harder than it looks. Both of these Dark Shadows have rocket launchers. The rockets follow you infinitely and do a big chunk of health. If you're lucky, the rockets take all the other Dark Shadows out. But if not, you can see just from taking 3 or 4 rockets, I'm down to half health. And then the mine droppers are circling this building, so you have to know where height-wise they are, because if you lose track of them, you can't see them without having to fly around the building multiple times. So this is actually going pretty well, but I know if you're trying to really work on learning routing for this game, optimizing this game, this mission itself is one of the most challenging things that you will have to reset runs for. What else is coming up in this stretch? Just more taking care of tornadoes.
Lots of whooshing.
So sometimes you have to collect the token power-ups, sometimes you don't. This is one of the missions where it just gives it to you. So they teach you that the tokens exist, but they don't always play by the rules that you need to collect them. And after this mission is my favorite flight, because in normal difficulty with the rings, you can see that they expect you to take about 3 minutes to do it. In easy without the rings, it's right there. It's about a 3-second flight away. So we are gonna take care of the cardboard box blocking this lady's path. Come on, Superman. There we go. Real big villain.
That was a pretty slow throw for Soups.
It was.
Yeah.
Also, if you were wondering, they do canonically call him Soups in the show. So when you hear us calling him Soups, that's a thing they do. This level also has one of my favorite little glitches. I'll see if I can pull it off. Oh, not quite. Oh, and I fell off the building. Okay. It's possible if you try and land on the seam of the building, Superman will just float up for 5-10 seconds. We're waiting for that lady to walk around the outside of the skyscraper. Why that's the route she took, can't tell you, but we just have to wait until she's done. This is another auto-scroller, but thankfully not a particularly long one.
It's a very devious plot by Brainiac.
Being trapped behind a cardboard box, which in this game they explode because everything explodes. So you'll pick up a cardboard box and throw it, and it will just burst into flames. Okay, this is another grab bag of enemies. So we've got the turret robots, we've got a tornado, we've got a car, we've got mine droppers. But really all we're trying to do is clear the path so that these little skateboard boys can get by. So while I'm taking care of this, we are almost to the warehouse. And what are we doing in the warehouse, One Pint?
In the warehouse, we have to have a confrontation with Metallo. Are there any Metallo fans in chat? We're going to see him. We're actually going to fight Metallo. But there's something fun that goes on with this. And it turns out that Metallo is loaded in when the level launches. However, the logic for Metallo does not load in until the boss door is opened. And we're not going to go that way.
Also, do we have Lois Lane fans in the chat? Because if you do, sorry. Warehouse is the level where you're supposed to rescue Lois Lane, but because the only clear condition is to beat Metallo, we never even see her.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of that. So there are levels that are going to be coming up where the logic is actually more complete, or doesn't rely on conditions. But for the time being, we get to just sort of slip right past people all the time.
We'll also get to see Mirror Superman. Because this is an N64 game, the way that they program mirrors is that there's just a second instance of the model that exists in the level. So as we fly past a mirror, you'll get to see a second Superman. All right, so here in the warehouse, we're going to do that corner clip again. So we're going to walk into the corner, face the wall, take off, and turn. I did it wrong. Let's try again. Nope, and now the game is lagging. There we go. So now we're out of bounds. Metallo's on the upper floor here. We'll fly through the hallway. Everybody say hi to Mirror Superman. Hi, Mirror Superman.
Hi, Mirror Superman.
And here's Metallo.
Hi, Metallo. And Metallo is just going to stand there and get bodied.
All right. And once he disappears. All right, sorry, Lois.
Then there's no time.
All right, I got that trick. So every time Superman loads into the next segment of the game, I assume to prevent him from clipping through the ground, the programmer started him a couple units off of the ground, but he still counts as being on ground for a single frame. So if you manage to press the takeoff button on the first frame that the game loads in, you can actually take off instead of having to fall to the ground before flying. It adds up over the course of the run, but it is frame perfect. So if you see any more of them, throw your best clapping emote in chat.
And the rocket guys again.
Thankfully, I did not get the camera glitch. Sometimes when doing that mission, there's a glitch where the camera pulls very far out. At 60%, it's okay. Superman's still sort of visible on screen. At 20%, Superman is about 3 pixels. So there's a pretty good chance that you fail that mission if it does that at 20% because you just can't see what's going on. All right, another set of mine droppers. We saw it earlier, but this is another level where hopefully I can try and get the enemy to explode as the level is deloading, and it can cause Superman to have some weird effects going into the next mission. Didn't get it. Sometimes, because his state of like taking damage is persistent between missions, when he goes to load in, he'll be completely perpendicular to the ground and walking through nothing. It's very nice to see, but it isn't always consistent, and there's no reason to do it in like real attempts because it would just lose time when done wrong. Okay, so we need to rescue the hostages. Why is this annoying, One Pint?
This is annoying because unlike the other shadows, these guys take 2 hits, and also, for whatever reason, once they get knocked down, they get a little bit goofy and don't understand where Superman is, so they walk off in random directions.
They're actually very nice today. They went in very good directions instead of walking all over the place. What's the other fun thing they can do?
Oh, they can shoot each other.
They can shoot each other and make Superman's job easier because they managed to take each other out. If you're wondering how I know where to go between flights, there is a compass there in the bottom right of the screen that does point towards your next objective, and you can tell where the objective is because it's the giant floating, spinning Superman symbol on the overworld map.
And just in case anybody was wondering, too, the UI is rendered separately from the game window. So even when Brad's playing at 20%, the Superman health bar over on the left and the timer above are consistent across all variations of the run.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. Amusingly, though, the text in the game is either or. Some of them render as part of the game, some of them render as part of the UI. So sometimes you'll get to see all of the text, and sometimes it gets clipped inside of the rendering size. All right, so the next thing we're heading to is the parking garage for the Daily Planet, where we are going to take care of Darkseid. So, what's going on in the parking garage, One Pint?
Well, we can have a Darkseid too.
This looks like
I don't know. So in the Daily Planet, for whatever reason, Lex Luthor has parked his digital car. I think it's one of only 2 cars that we even see in the parking garage. And for whatever reason, there's also a key card for of Lex Luthor's in said
the
car.
Holding Jimmy hostage.
So yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So little did you folks know, but you're also going to get some Street Fighter II action tonight, as Superman completely destroys Lex Luthor's car in an attempt to get this safety car. Oh, there's 3 cars. I counted incorrectly. I feel ashamed.
Superman also enjoys the Kool-Aid Man, since he loves to smash through brick walls.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
All right, so here's the car. Grab that.
How do we know it's Lex Luthor's car?
And now we have to go back and rescue Jimmy. So Jimmy does get saved, unlike Lois Lane.
Yes, and also unlike Metallo, Darkseid's logic loads in with Darkseid at the beginning of the level. But there's also some fun things. Oh, you're going to see too. There's a nice
we're gonna have to do a restart mission.
Ruh-roh.
This looks like a job.
So I can explain that. So because this is a 3D game, the map exists as an X, Y, and Z set of coordinates. And if Superman ever touches the maximum or the minimum value for any of those coordinates, it breaks the way that the camera works, and it breaks some of his controls. So this game is pretty consistent in the way that it handles, but if you ever hit those minimum or maximum values, it completely breaks apart. And the reason why I didn't try and salvage it is because every so often you can sort of break away from it, but if you do it wrong, the game will completely hard crash, and that's much worse than just having to waste 20 seconds to restart a mission. Right? So
Jimmy's in trouble.
Jimmy's in trouble.
Jimmy's in trouble.
We can get
quick.
Can we get some helps in the chat, since that's the only thing he knows how to say?
Help! Yeah. Well, at least that's the only thing that they gave an actual recorded voice for. But Jimmy gets into trouble a lot.
Towards the end of the game, we have to be careful to not draw an alien crab to him, otherwise it'll game over. Which sounds like a silly sentence, but it's awfully silly. Of course it's a silly sentence.
Oh, it's, robot crabs is only the beginning of the description.
There we go. Now we're not flying off into the void. So we're going to go back, talk to Jimmy.
And check out Jimmy's hair. It's awesome.
It's very good. It's like Joey Wheeler's hair in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's large and in charge. So Jimmy has now told us that there's a bomb somewhere in the garage. And this level is actually pretty large. It's pretty easy to get turned around in. But when they actually designed it, all of the key components to this level are layered one on top of the other. So if you can get out of bounds, you can get to all of them very quickly. So the bomb is literally in the room above Jimmy. And then just around the corner, now that we've saved Jimmy and defused the bomb, we actually get Darkseid to appear. And as One Pint mentioned, he actually does have his logic, so he wants to try and walk up to Superman and tell him that he's going to beat him. But if you hit him with the heat vision over and over, you can actually knock him out before he ever reaches Superman. A totally fair fight, just like with Metallo. And now we're going to turn him into the police at the entrance of the garage.
Through the ceiling.
There's no time to waste.
So the police car has a hitbox that goes through the garage floor. So just by going around the corner and pressing Darkseid into the ceiling, it counts and you can finish the level. All right, so at this point, we are at the point of the run where it's pretty much tornadoes until we hit go mode. So, One Pint, any other things you want to talk about with the run?
It's funny because I've just been thinking things sequentially. I don't know. I think one of the core things is it's amazing how just the loops and the sound effects just sort of earworm into your skull. Ever since this bizarre adventure started 2 years ago, it's been one of those things. I'll be driving the day after Brad has done a Superman 64 stream, and I just sort of, whenever I turn a corner, just go. But yeah, it's been so odd because actually when I first trolled Brad, I, in fact, had not even played this game. I just knew it based on reputation. So little did I know I'd be torturing myself to 2 years of madness.
I also had not played this game. All right, so after this, we are going to be going to the Star Lab, where we'll get to see an older piece of tech. Before the corner clip was found, a lot of the time to get out of the level, you needed to find a ceiling that was low enough to the ground that when you did the takeoff animation, it would push you through the floor. Ooh, get back here, tornado. So in trying to find those spaces, they were few and far between and weren't always consistent, but Star Lab is one of the only places that we do that. And once we're done with that, those are all the levels that you can beat on easy difficulty. So, One Pint, do you want to explain what we're going to do to bypass being stuck on easy difficulty?
Yes. Because there's the last two levels of the game require respectively hard mode and Superman mode as their required difficulty levels. So after Brad completes the next mission, there's going to be a moment where we exit out of the game, it'll notify us that we cannot continue without changing the difficulty. We will go out, and it will give us a preview of the next level. And what we think happens is that it puts the level into memory. And when we change the difficulty and then go back in, we end up skipping the next flight level. And that'll happen again for Superman difficulty. Do you want me to explain what's going on here with Hamilton?
What's going on here, since Hamilton just wants to keep talking to me. Actually, he might have frozen the game. We might have to...
Dang it, Hamilton!
Hamilton, come on.
Jeez.
Yeah, so go ahead and explain what's going on here in Star Lab.
So Brad's actually about to do what the original clip that existed in Speedrun Tech here before Brad started running it, because it turns out that if you bonk off of objects above and you have a close enough object below, it'll force you through the floor. So we're going to talk to Hamilton. Hamilton wants us to activate 4 different computers. However, right above Hamilton and not too far away is the 4th computer, which we're going to activate first because we can. And then there are 3 other computers which are in the same room as Parasite. Anybody fan of Parasite here? You're going to see him very, very briefly. He might get a hit or two in us. So Brad's going to get into the room with Parasite and then activate in sequence computer 1, and then stand between computers 2 and 3 and release Hamilton.
Yep. So because you stand in between them, you can activate computers 3 and 4. So 3 has a cutscene where it lowers the water level and you see a submarine, and 4 is what activates the cutscene to free Hamilton. So if you can activate both computers at the same time, you can skip that one cutscene, which saves quite a bit of time because the cutscene is multiple seconds long. Come on. I do not like this clip. This is why I'm so glad the corner clip exists. There we go.
Go Soups.
All right, so we rescued Jimmy and Hamilton, 2 out of 3, not too bad. All right, so this is the point where the game says you're not on the correct difficulty to play the next mission. So options, we'll switch to normal. And when you select last game, it reloads the game with your current settings. So instead of needing to do the ring flights, like One Pint said, it thinks that we're already in the level because of the little display there. So now we can just play the second to last mission. And, oh, I got that first try, so I didn't even need to talk about it. The last time I was on Hotfix, there was another bonk against the ceiling clip to get out of bounds in this level, and it was rough. I was worried I was going to go over estimate because of it. So I told myself, I need to find a more consistent way to get out of bounds. And we learned that if you just take off parallel to that wall, that diagonal wall, you are already out of bounds. You don't need to do anything special. Superman is just considered out of bounds, and when you turn, he will phase through the level.
Of course.
All right, so what are we doing here in the subway, One Pint?
We're, there's, and I kid you not, you can't make this stuff up. We're going to fight Lex Luthor in the Lexo suit. But in order to summon the Lexo suit, we have to read 2 messages that are at either end of a sprawling subway system, which would normally be quite a pain to navigate through. But see, watch this. Yeah, say watch this. Yeah, good message, Soups. We're going to fly out of bounds again and fly right to the other end of the subway tunnel to read the other note.
So we saw both boxes. So there's the Lexo suit. Start fighting it, hopefully. Although it is taking damage because the Dark Shadows keep shooting it. So thank you to Lex Luthor's minions for helping to fight against your own boss. All right, there we go. Mm-hmm. So this is a cutscene, as you can tell from the static shot of the Metropolis sign. Oh, okay, there we go. There's the actual cutscene. So we're gonna fly out of the subway, and once again, it's gonna tell us you're on the wrong difficulty, so we're gonna do the same trick as last time. Options, we're gonna set it to Superman, the hard difficulty, and last game. All right, One Pint, do you want to talk about the last level of this game?
Oh boy, do I. Okay, so there's not going to be as much clipping as in previous. It starts off with a clip, but there's a lot of verticality to this level, and there are teleporters, for one, because Brainiac, of course, why wouldn't there be teleporters? Teleporters are what smart people do. And then there are also these magical tubes with light in them. They look like sort of transporter tubes from Star Trek, and they do a couple things. One, they summon robotic 4-legged, 2-armed crabs, which can shoot and hit people. Anybody in Brad's community, please throw the crab rave into the chat. And they also do math? Question mark? Because reasons? Well, there's a magic number. Brad, did you want to do this? I know you like explaining this.
First of all, we need to build a computer.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the computer.
So right now, we are flying around to grab pieces of the computer, but we also need to destroy parts of the spaceship. Oh, I threw the barrel early. So
watch out for the crabs.
So here's one of those tubes. We're going to blow that up with a barrel as we simultaneously try and find pieces of the computer, I guess. I've never beaten this level the intended way, so I don't quite know what's going on.
So you'll see it. You'll see it counting down. It says 9 pieces remaining. It turns out that there's 12 computer components which need to be collected. However, they were expecting you to follow the critical path of the game, and we're not going to follow the critical path of the game. So it turns out that only 8 of the pieces are actually required in order to make the computer run.
Crabs are bullying me. Again, and these like circle discs are the pieces. We're not exactly sure why. In my splits, this is called MacGuffin Quest because it really doesn't seem like any of these things actually matter. They just exist to be things to collect. Oh, I turned the wrong way.
My other favorite name for this game is not Superman 64 nor The New Adventures of Superman, but Superman MVP, which is minimum viable product.
So we collected pieces on one side of the ship, so now we go to a almost identical looking room on the other side of the ship and collect another piece, and that'll get us to the final room of the game, but unfortunately we're not quite done. If these little tanks will leave me alone because they keep shooting me and pushing me forward. Okay, there we go. And I turned the wrong way again. 2 for 2 on that.
So when Brad finally activates the computer, it's going to bring up the number 2000. And this game was made in 1999. For any of you who are old enough to remember, the Y2K bug was a very scary thing, and we think that's what this next part was based off of. And so you somehow need to set a value in the computer to match 2000. And that's where the math crab tubes are going to become really important.
Yeah.
And yes, I did just say math crab tubes.
Yeah, the game does not explain any of this to you, so you sort of just have to wonder what you're supposed to do. I'm going to take the safety health because these crabs have been very mean. All right, so we need to talk to Hamilton. Thank goodness we rescued him. And we're going to activate this computer. Obviously, this totem pole looking thing is a computer. All right, so we have up math. Good, up math is good. So in this maze, there are 2 configurations of the room, and there are 4 teleporter tubes, a plus 50, minus 50, plus 25, and minus 25. And the 1800 to 2000 pattern usually has faster overall routing than having to go from 2200 down to 2000. All right, so again, if you liked seeing Hamilton, here's our other friend we rescued. Hi, Jimmy. Bye, Jimmy. If Lois Lane is in this level, I don't know where she is because I've never played it the intended way. That is also the point where if there is a crab alien in that room, if you draw its attention and don't kill it, it will walk over and finish off Jimmy. And if it does that, you game over. And we learned that practicing for this run.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we're back to the final room. It's telling us that we need a bomb to blow up the spaceship. I think you're probably supposed to bomb multiple areas, but again, never played this the intended way, couldn't tell you. It's one of those shortcuts where it seems like they only check for the last one, and the last bomb is in the room next to the final room. So we have our bomb.
And Brad is going to very carefully deposit it in the center of the room.
All right.
Like that.
And time. So at this point, Superman actually truly wins. It always says that after you beat the missions, but until you finish the game, has he actually truly won? And you can tell that this is the end of the game because when you go through, it plays the very, very good closing cutscene, which is just the opening cutscene in reverse, but with some camera effects. Well done, you managed to get your friends out of this nightmare. But in the real world, Lex is still there. So it plays the cutscene, and then it rolls the credits. So if you're here, congrats, you finally got to see the credits of Superman 64, something most kids in the 2000s probably never did. So, One Pint, do you have anything else to say?
Thank you for the opportunity, Brad. And I'm honestly delighted that what started as a playful jab became something that, landed you showing it off to a delightful, loving crowd. So, and thank you, Conception.
Yeah, what was the time on this? I feel like it was around 32.
33:48 is what.
Ooh, okay, yeah, those level resets really kill you. Otherwise, yeah, I look forward to running this at AGDQ. That bid war for screen size is certainly going to make this a challenge. I'm working on practicing all the screen sizes right now because I have to be ready for all of them. So feel free to stop by and see what it looks like to watch this game as a postage stamp.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you catch this run. It's kicking off the awful block in AGDQ 2025 as well. So you get to start with maybe the most iconic awful game of all time and then get to see what else we devolve into throughout the night. So be sure to check out Brad's run at the event, whether or not you're there or watching from home. Yes, thank you both so much. I was saying before we started, can't believe it's taken this long for me to get this game on the show. But the showcase was well worth it. Incredible job to both of you. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and thanks to the tech crew, and thanks to the Brad's community.
Yeah. Absolutely, showing up strong in the chat. I saw you. But for now, we are going to get geared up for our final run of Superhero Night on Awfully Silly. So feel free to get up. All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. I hope you have been enjoying our excursion into the universes of superheroes in video games. We had the Power Rangers, we had Batman Forever, the arcade game, we had the iconic and never forgotten Superman 64, and we have one more incredible title here for you. Before we get that, just want to remind everybody as well that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick hotfix content. So if you're enjoying the content, you like the speedruns, you like the shows, we heavily suggest consider subscribing to the channel. That's going to get you your emotes as well. It's going to let you chat with other subscribers when we do our replays after our live content. And finally, if you want to see even more hotfix and what we have in store for you, feel free to go on over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. That's going to let you check out the season 4 schedule, of which we are currently in, and let you go in depth and look at the week's runs. You know, we're on Tuesday. We still got plenty of hotfix left for the week, so feel free to give it a check and see what we have in store for you. All right, without further ado, you know, I've done superheroes before on this show. I think a few times. This might be like third time I've done superheroes, actually. And I think every episode has had at least one Batman game, and most of them have had multiple. And this episode and this game are no exception. We had Batman Forever earlier, of course. And we're going to be finishing tonight's episode off with an absolute banger speedrun of Batman Vengeance. And that's going to be run by MTG Joe D. MTG Joe D. That's a long one. All right, I got there. Feel free to show us how it's done, Joe.
Hey, everyone. Conception, thank you so much for having me. My name's Joe. I'm going to be playing Batman Vengeance. It was released in 2000 for the GameCube. It's actually canonically set in the same universe as Superman 64, so we don't have to go far, which is kind of fun. This is based off of the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which is a continuation of Batman the Animated Series. Excuse me. And it's a wonderful game. It has all the voice actors from the series. So we get Mark Hamill, we get the late great Kevin Conroy, may rest in peace, Arlene Sarkin. All of the original cast are here. They do a lot of awesome cutscenes that are really fun to watch. And since this is a speed run, we're going to skip them because we're doing New Game Plus. We will get to hear some classic voice lines, though, so no worries. And time will start here when I select my brightness. So we could do a 3, 2, 1. It's bat time.
Bat time.
This first level is just kind of designed for people to get the feel of the character. We thought that you could die up here on these gases for a long time, but recently found out that your health will just go down to a sliver, and then you're fine. So, no stress. Batman has heard a scream. He's on the rooftops. He's brooding, and we're off to investigate. And right off the bat, we find a poor woman tied up right near some Joker gas bombs. She's screaming, and we do what all cool superhero guys do, and run away from an explosion. No sunglasses, though, because it's Batman.
Yeah. Camera makes us look back at it, though. You're not supposed to look at the explosion. Oh, well, actually, don't. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. This is one of my favorite credit sequences for a video game. Doing it during the explosion, Batman looking all cool and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So we successfully save the woman whose name is Mary. Cutscenes, we drop her off. We find a little card from the Joker. It's got a riddle on it. We don't read it because it's a speedrun, and on we go. This is a game that I found used at a rental video game store, or at a video rental store. Bought it because it had Batman on it. I played the first couple of levels, and then, like Elrock mentioned, I never wanted to play it again. Played it once, it was awful, couldn't control it. Little kid Joe was so frustrated. put it in a box. Didn't look at it again until college, when I had the wild hair to like, you know what, I need to beat that Batman game. And now I've beaten it tens of thousands of times. The controls are a little wonky, which I think is where a lot of the frustration comes from, especially for people who played it in 2000. It came out on the PC, Xbox, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and technically the Game Boy Advance. The controls are awful on all of them. The PC is especially broken, and the Game Boy Advance is a completely different game, as was typical for the era. Right now, we're just learning how to control Batman. Alfred's talking, and we're trying to skip through listening to him. Because, again, bat speedrun. We're going to pass by a laser that has the largest hitbox I've ever seen. So if you see me loop wide around that, that's why. Easy, hit the button. And then we're going to throw ourselves into oblivion to catch a falling dummy, which is a skill that really comes in handy as Batman, I've found out. So, Conception, I'm curious, do you have a favorite Batman iteration?
So meaning video game specific, or are we just talking like
who's your favorite Batman?
Ooh, great question. My favorite Batman is probably Christian Bale.
Okay.
It's close. So I'm of the mindset that I don't know if anybody has like nailed the Batman Bruce Wayne combo. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, in live action, I'd agree.
Yeah, in live action, yes. Kevin Conroy nailed it, but but in live action, yes. But this animated, the Batman animated series, oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I watched Mask of the Phantasm because I love that movie. Such a great film. Oh my gosh. So that's probably the real answer.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I would answer probably also.
Yeah.
Here, we missed a little jump. That one's so tricky. Again, the railing has an odd hitbox. But we're jumping from rooftop to rooftop and skipping little cutscenes where Mary is just being carried across multiple buildings by one of the hench folk. Not sure how they're getting there so quick because we're hopping around. We've got to do some acrobatics. We call this the Rusty Hop. Rusty's one of the runners in the community, and he realized we'd always been trying to glide around that corner. It was really awkward. One day he was like, "Yo, why don't we just hop?" So shout out to Rusty if you're here, man. Thank you for that. It's just classic noir Gotham. We've got gargoyles, we've got dark roofs. Really awkward to control Batman. Coming up on a fun little slide here. And it makes me feel really bad for Alfred in particular, that Batman's out here with these boots, like just grinding away like they're soap shoes. You know Alfred's gonna have to deal with that.
Poor Alfred.
In our first combat of the game, we have to be a little careful. We don't want to go too hard like I just did there and knock him all the way over, because that's, wait something second, slow down. There is a way you can jump behind him and handcuff him, but I don't have the timing down on that. It's for defter fingers than mine.
Been there.
Yeah, but we rescue her. We get a little pocket knife that has her son's name on it. She tells us Joker's kidnapped him, and we have to save him. And then Batgirl, who, Barbara, is the one doing all of the actual detective work in this game, tells us that she's not sure Mary and her son Toby have ever existed. She can't find records on them at all. Something fishy is going on, and then we get an alert that there's bad folk down at the docks. So something suspicious is going on, and Batman does a lot of pensive in the cutscenes.
Man of many words.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, you're through, Bat. We're putting the awful and silly here.
Yeah, he's bullying you. All right, there you go.
And their lines are so funny. He's like, "I know you're here. I'm gonna get you, Bat. Where are you?" And there's the boss. Sometimes. You know, typical goons.
Standard goon.
And we're about to come up on our first Joker appearance. Mark Hamill at his finest. This era, I think. And there is a early skip we can try here. It's a little difficult to see. but we don't actually have to go in and fight them. Perfect. We got the early Joker, we call it. He throws Toby, the child, off the thing, the wrecking ball he's riding on. So again, we throw ourselves into oblivion to catch the child. But wait, something is amiss. I love the score on this too, it's so dramatic. We find out that that's a sack of potatoes with a bomb in it. Toby doesn't exist and the Joker has set us up. Mary is revealed to have been Harley Quinn the whole time, which, if you recognize Arlene Sarkin's voice, you knew right off the bat. Probably, I would assume, as a kid watching the show.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. We're really trying to avoid... Joker does a, grapple. It just ends it. There's no way on the GameCube to really escape it, so we get lucky here, and no hands to beat the Joker. Because we're Batman. We prepared for this moment.
We're Batman.
I have tried doing this run in a Batman mask. I can't see well enough. It was a disaster.
Makes you wonder how he fights crime like that, right? Like, how do you see anything?
So Harley Quinn flings herself off her rooftop, and once again, we dive off, we catch her. It's what we were practicing with Alfred earlier. Very important. She's having a bad time. She cries. She says she's giving up crime. We're skipping through a bunch of cutscenes, and we get a call that Mr. Freeze is probably up to no good. There's something happening in an icy research facility. So, being Batman, we leave poor Barbara back at the Batcave to do all the actual work, and we go there where she told us to go. I feel kind of bad. I think I'm become really obsessed with this game, so I've done a lot of reading about when it came out. And I think originally you were going to get to be able to play as Barbara, which I think would be cool. Because all her models are there and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So
that would have been
fun.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of clicking through and trying to ignore her because Bruce is kind of rude.
Very rude.
All right, and there's French's... wow, Freeze's henchfolk. French's... I don't know what I was trying to say there.
French's mustard.
Yeah. And they're actually, I think, in my opinion, they're the toughest sidekicks in the whole game. If we get lucky, they will shoot each other off the edges here. Or we just completely avoid them, which is nice. And we're going to try to do a quick little rush over to a ladder to hop up on a moving platform here.
Nailed it.
Also, curious, Conception, did you when did you ever find out about this game originally? Is this something you saw as a younger person?
No. So I did not play this game as a younger person. I started the show in like 2021, and that's when a lot of my research began into like games that people kind of considered awful. Of which I love superheroes. Like in my life, I just love superheroes and superhero content. So I heard about this one, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it until I saw you run it last year on Hotfix. And then I was like, oh, this run is super fun. So I want to get this on my show someday.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I'll show it to my friends, or people will stop by the Twitch stream, and they'll say, what is this? I've never heard of this. There's a Batman the Animated Series game? And I missed it, too, until it was already being sold for $6.99 used at a Hollywood Video in Boise.
What a bargain. Yeah, what a bargain.
Who knew that $6.99 would lead to hundreds of hours of my life later?
What a value.
So we're up on the first auto-scrolling portion of the game. This is one of the toughest levels, probably, initially, and I think what turned away most kids when they got it. I'd have friends over for sleepovers and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, we want to play the Batman game. I'm like, no, you don't.
You really don't.
And they'd get here, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. This is tough. What we're trying to do is get the helicopter's shield down as early as possible, because there's going to be, we can't blow it up now, but at the end, there's going to be a dramatic face-off in the skies. And if you get the shield down before then, it goes a lot quicker. which, that's our objective. As speedrunners, right?
Yep, go fast.
I was surprised how fast Robin was going in that Batman Forever run. That was awesome.
Wasn't that a trip? Wasn't that a trip? I couldn't even believe it. The Super Saiyan, the flipping. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure seeing El Rock run something. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
I was trying to practice
what a joy.
because I'm a little rusty and didn't get as much practice as I wanted. And I had to put the controller down and just watch. It was too fun.
It's been great. Oh, I love these silly superhero games. What a joy.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, Power Rangers was awesome. I ate dinner and watched that and couldn't tear myself away from Superman. I'm having a great night.
Iconic games. Yeah. Thanks to all the runners and everything too. What a great episode it's been.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I've played about 1 minute and 30 seconds of Superman 64 and I could not.
It's like 1 minute and 28 seconds more than most people played, so.
That sucks. The RNG on the vehicles here can be a bit much. They'll just bump you right up if you're not careful. Doing it at this part, not too bad. We'll just have to bust the shield at the top. It sucks when in the very first of the 3 highway levels, you get bumped into a sign because it's everything. You take the game back to the video store and you're just like, what is this? What did you sell me?
Give me my $7 back.
But I do think, as an adult putting the time in, this is one of my favorite games of all time. It would have to be to, put as many runs in as I have, but
sure, that makes sense.
It's really charming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show is that like whatever runner or game I have on the show, usually it's a smaller community. It's not like a massive community, but the amount of passion and care that people care about these games is so fun. Like it's just so, you can tell, even though they might know in the back of their head like this is silly, this is ridiculous, whatever. It's just like but they love it. They love it so much. That's why I love the show.
It's awesome. I love watching. Mm-hmm. All right, so we blew up the helicopter and threw a man out, who was the scientist we've been looking to save. Also voiced by Mark Hamill, just a non-Joker cameo he has. And he tells us he feels safe in his lab because he has a grant from the Wayne Foundation. And Batman gives him his best, like, do you now face, because he knows that's a lie. Mm-hmm. And then we let him go, and we come to do the most intense computer hacking. We are hacking the planet right now. Woo! With colored tubes. Lucky for us, that is the same sequence of colored tubes each time, and if your hands aren't shaking from being nervous, it's a lot easier.
You're doing great. You're crushing.
Thanks. I also run into the issue playing this game and talking about it is I will get too excited when I'm streaming and start gushing about it and just like kill a world record attempt,
I think we've all been there. I think I have a few games I feel that strongly about too.
Coming up here in a few moments after the next little bit, there is a flashing lights warning. It should be over pretty quick, as long as we can nail the invincibility glitch right away. So if you need to look away for a couple minutes, I'll let you know when we're done here. So we're coming up on the first invincibility glitch, which is going to look pretty silly. Let's see if we can nail it first try. Nope. But what happens is if you are taking constant damage from steam like that or a flamethrower from one of the Joker Jack-in-the-Boxes, and you are crouched at just the perfect moment, the game doesn't think you exist necessarily, and you are invincible. It's really cool. There we go. Second try.
We take those.
So now I will take no damage when we're hit and won't really aggro enemies the same way. The flashing lights are over now. I don't know why they did that. Ubisoft put in some really obnoxious flashing there. So we don't get put into the damage positions. We pick up that health pack right there. Because if we don't, we will soft lock the game during the Mr. Freeze fight, which is the bane of my existence. Victor Freeze is a tricky man, as we'll find out here soon.
Oh, yeah.
But we get to run through some really cool ice levels, and we ignore it all, because when Batman's invincible, we get to act like Superman. Just not worry about it. I love there. You come through and they're like, huh? What? Who's out there?
What's that?
All right, let's see. Mr. Freeze, here we come. So what we have to do is we can't hurt him. We have to put charges on these things and drop them on him. And his RNG does not like to play kind, and he will shoot them down when we don't want him to. And additionally, if we let him build up too much of that ice around our invincible bat boots, the game will crash. So we're pretty good at avoiding that these days. But there is a moment where the few of us running this were just like, what do we do here?
Yeah.
It's a perfect hit. All right, the last one. Victor, please.
Be good, Victor. Be good.
We're on GDQ, Victor. You have to play along here. Oh, come on. It's the last
He knew.
one.
He knew. As soon as you name dropped it, he was like, oh, it's over for you.
There we go. I think that should be the last hit. Nice. That was actually a really good freeze fight. We didn't get it perfect, but we take one less than perfect. Shout out to, I do want to do some shout outs to Ratton and Agari, who are the two other like big runners of this game. Have taught me a lot, both of them, getting to talk to them and watch their runs. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Thank you for being in the Batman world with me. Ratton was the first one to figure out how to skip the cutscenes, which was really cool because we didn't think it was possible, and then he did it on accident once during a run, and we assumed it was just PAL version only, so I started running it on the PAL version and could only get it inconsistently, which is super frustrating because I was like, I want my world record back. And we did deduce eventually that what's happened was he had played the levels already through on his save. Like, you open it up and you play through them, and then the game lets you skip them. Which is, we found out completely by accident. So you just have to go play through, watch the couple of cutscenes, and then start the game. So when we queued in here, I was in the menu because I had done that. I don't know why that is, but it was, oh man, it shaved like 15 minutes off the run.
Oh yeah,
so that was a
huge
major
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, I feel like it was a thing of the era where they're like, oh, we want you to see the cutscenes unless you beat the game before, and then maybe we can figure out a way for you to skip them.
And then so that's why we're doing it on New Game Plus, because it lets you skip about half the cutscenes. But there were random ones that are just, I guess, more important. It is totally worth playing through and watching the cutscenes, because like I said, it's got the whole voice cast with a funky new kind of like cel-shaded 3D animation that looks great on a CRT, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. I'll play through and watch them sometimes just because, you know, for the nostalgia.
Sure.
So we're coming up on Batgirl is fighting a mysterious, like, mummy-wrapped individual that she has been stalking in a couple of, following, doing detective work on in some of the previous cutscenes. And now he's driving a car, and we're on to the second most frustrating auto-scroller I've ever been a part of. Because it's got early QuickTime events. I think this was my first experience with QuickTime events. You gotta hit the shoulder keys, and you gotta hit them really hard, because if you don't, it doesn't believe you. And we're not trying to get 100% points, so good luck to all the Gothamites driving around.
Yeah.
I feel a little guilty. I like to think that Bruce Wayne anonymously sends them checks to get their cars repaired.
I would hope so. Yeah, you better do some damage control in this city.
And it's a similar concept to the helicopter. You can see kind of like a red car icon in the bottom right. We want all the red to fill up and then disappear because we're getting rid of a shield we don't know they have. I wish my car in real life had like a damage shield like that. Would have been useful.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. Would protect from accidents and whatnot. Sure.
Yeah, they got to get on that. Like, where's our cars with force fields? I don't want a self-driving car. I want a force field car.
For real.
All right, well, the shield is down, which is nice. Sometimes they weave just right, so that's a little tricky. As long as we make this last quick time. There we go. We are going to now just fire gas indiscriminately on the highway. Get it through the window, and hopefully only affect a couple other commuters there. The car goes flying off the guardrails here. We jump down to investigate. The car radio is playing, and it's playing news coverage of levels that we've played before, which I think is a really nice touch. They're talking about the highway chase. And yeah, it's really cool. And now we're doing a little bit of computer work in that cutscene we just skipped, but usually we let the sidekicks do the real detective work. And what we missed there is a cutscene showing that Poison Ivy has been delivered a mysterious vial. And so we go to investigate what Poison Ivy's doing, which is wreaking havoc in a nasty chemical factory. Which, out of all the villains in Batman lore, I think I find myself empathizing with Ivy with Ivy the most, because she's just like,
sure.
Hey, you're wrecking the planet, man.
Mm-hmm. I was always drawn to Victor, actually. Like, I know, his tragic story is not an excuse for all the crime he does, obviously, but I was just like, oh, my heart breaks for you. I do. It does. Yeah.
Especially in Batman the Animated Series, that episode that focuses on him and getting screwed over by his boss and losing his wife, like, it made sense. Yeah. As a kid, I'm always like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's why that show's so great.
Yeah. And we're avoiding lots of really, honestly, also, I think these plants are really pretty. This might be one of the prettiest levels, or series of levels. Freaky plant tentacles, though, but, pretty poison flowers. All right, we're coming up on one of the parts that always seems to go perfect in practice and falls apart when people are watching. So cross your bat fingers. These icy parts can just dump you out, which is always frustrating. And we're coming up on some parkour, which is just not at all how the developers wanted you to go through this level. But we're going to try to dance around the edge of some poison. Which, looking at this stuff, I'm not surprised Poison Ivy wanted to... Oh!
That was close.
Oh, my goodness.
That was nice, though.
Yeah, we almost butter dropped it. We got one more little one to do here. There's a cutscene focusing on the mayor. If we are to die here, he just disappears because, which we're gonna. He'll just disappear because in New Game Plus, you don't have to fight the boss. You already have the key. You just run past them. So the mayor is gone. We're gonna try that jump again. I think they grease those the rims.
For sure. You could tell.
It's a workplace safety hazard. So the cutscene in the boss we do miss there is the mysterious bandaged figure turns out to be a plant monster that looks a lot like one of the Looney Tunes villains. He's got the red hair and the green skin, and you have to push him into a vat. It's all very dramatic.
Kill him, my darling.
And now we come on the cool plant monster, which I feel really bad because we're zapping it and trying to dump it in some poison. And it's just got a lot of personality, Kind of like Wazowski's uncle, maybe?
Maybe. It has to be.
You haven't destroyed my creation, Batman. You've only scratched the bark. You'll never reach the roots. Nature is a hydra. No.
You also, if you're running the any percent where you have to watch every cutscene, you start to learn the cutscenes.
What are you doing?
I hear him in my dreams still.
Oh, I bet. They're just iconic voice actors. They're just iconic voices. So ingrained in my childhood, yeah.
Same. So we electrocute the monster. We electrocute everything. She gives up, gives the antidote to the mayor. because she put a monster in his belly. We save the mayor. We go talk to Harley Quinn, and she's like, "No, I gave up crime. I haven't seen anything weird." But we're starting to suspect that there's more going on behind the scenes. And now we're coming up on the second time we get to use the invincibility glitch. Sure hope Bruce has been doing his squats.
No days off for Bruce.
Every day's leg day, Bruce. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, I tricked us.
So close.
It's all right. These tend to take two when people are watching. Yeah, this whole thing, this whole level is really fun. Some people, like Agari, will do a run through without the invincibility glitch, which still blows my mind. He doesn't get it until the very end of this level. There's so many people with machine guns. Just, I think it's safer. Come on, Bruce. You're letting me down. You know we're on GDQ, right, Bruce? But like I said, sometimes this game really will put the awful in silly.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a way we found to skip over almost the entirety of this level, and we were really excited because we were like, oh yeah, it's going to save so much time, and then started doing it. It's really difficult, and timed it. It doesn't save any time.
Oh, wow, of course.
Oh, we're cursed today. So Victor, is Mr. Freeze your favorite villain in the Batman mythos then, Conception?
I think so. I mean, it's hard not to, especially like Mark Hamill Joker, it's hard not to love that. But I guess I've always just been drawn to Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I always really enjoyed it.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that for sure. He's one of my top. Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. I don't think you're crossing your bat fingers, so if we could do that here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We'll call that first try.
First try.
And now, thankfully, because of the invincibility glitch, they can just empty those Thompsons into us, and we don't mind. We're just doing our thing. We're turning gears, not phased. And another thing to keep in mind on this level is those little cutscenes are not real cutscenes, and you can move Batman. Which sometimes we use to our advantage, but other times we'll dump you right into sewage, which kills you, obviously. Because that's gross. But yeah, I was doing the run, and I'd keep anxiously hitting the A button right here for a long time, and we would just sometimes get dumped and die as soon as the cutscene was over. What's happening?
Yeah.
Piece together that Batman is moving, and we get to use that to our advantage later on in the run, because... yeah, you're moving during a cutscene. How cool is that, right? I realized I can't see chat, and I want to know what their favorite Batman villain is.
Ooh, let me see if people just happen to have said anything. But yeah, feel free to sound off, and I will.
Yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to watch this VOD with chat on. So tell me who your favorite Batman villain is. There we go, ignoring the machine guns again because, we're borrowing Clark's powers. At one point in this universe that we share with Superman 64, because it's all supposed to be canonical in that New Adventures line, Superman puts on the Batman suit. And plays and pretends to be Batman to stop Bane. So sometimes in my head canon, I'm pretending we are just Clark on these levels where we're invincible.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I see a Poison Ivy mention.
Nice.
I think some love for Joker in both Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger's version.
Of course, yeah.
Someone said Clock King, Calendar Man, Toy Man, Clayface.
Okay, Clock King love in the chat. All right.
Yeah. Two-Face as well. Yep, that's a great one.
So there's one moment where we get to skip a whole conversation with Barbara because we were clever and we moved during the cutscene. Gonna do a lot of fun bat grappling. I was in a Fred Meyer the other day and they had a replica of that grapple gun.
Ooh, how did you not buy it?
Wasn't payday.
You were stronger than well, okay. If you didn't have the, I was like, you're stronger than I was, but yeah, if I didn't have the money, I don't know what I'd do either.
It's on the Christmas list though, for sure. Trust me.
There you go. There you go.
So we were successfully able to get that door during the little cutscene. Oh man, all three. That is only the second time I think I've done all three in a row during the full run.
Beauty.
And by going to the third floor first and then second floor, it allows us that clean little bat grapple there. Previous routing had us having to do a kind of sketchy jump on the top that was very stressful. So much prefer the new routing on that one.
Oh, for sure.
We have to watch the pipes turn. We've tried everything to not do these pipe turning segments, but you know, it's the 2000s on the GameCube. You can't get everything you want. We pull a lever, and then we run over here to tied up Mark Hamill, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. They made me do it. I'm working with the Joker." So, big reveal, the Joker's alive. We bring him out to the police. Someone mysteriously hits Jim Gordon in the head with a batarang. It's very clear it wasn't us, but now the entirety of the Gotham PD SWAT department is trying to kill us.
That's all it takes. One batarang, huh?
Yeah. And he was fine. It hit him in the shoulder. We try not to hit any of them because, you know, Batman, not every cop in Gotham is crooked. This guy, not so lucky because he stands away at the door.
You gotta move.
He has the most dramatic, like, you punch him and he goes, like, his full Shakespearean death gurgle.
Yeah.
I think someone's trying to get hazard pay or workers' comp, but that's between us and Bruce here.
Yeah.
This level is really fun to explore if you're, you know, not trying to do it quickly. Lots of cool, like, little secrets and power-ups you can get that don't help in the speed run, but I think it's really fun architecture. This is the one that really, I think, most closely aligns with the design of Gotham in the show. I didn't think he was going to get it. All right, Bruce, you're redeeming yourself for the invincibility glitch. Get to do some more sliding. Lots of ladder climbing. In the show, it just is really gorgeous, I think, with all the, like, noir-type Art Deco buildings. If you haven't watched it, it's worth putting on just in the background even just to see some of the really cool art design they had.
It's a great show.
And this helicopter sometimes has a mind of its own. And we found out recently, we got the PC version to work more consistently. It cuts this level in half, and we're just short a couple of buildings, and I think the pilot of the helicopter is drunk because it will just spin, like full 360 spin over and over during our battle with it. And
okay.
I have not found a way to beat it yet, which is why there's, like, I just can't end the level, which is why there is no PC speedrun category yet. We're working on it. If anyone else wants to work on it, I can get you started.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be some glitch hunters out there. Come on.
And that goes for anyone. Any version of the game you want to play. I've played it. I can help get you started. You can find me in the Discord, Blue Sky, wherever. I'm happy to talk about this game anytime.
Yeah, actually, that leads me to a good question. So you're playing on the GameCube version.
Yeah,
we're
technically running it. We're doing the Wii, but, you know, GameCube.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, fair enough. Okay, so, like, how does, like, load times and stuff like that compare to the Xbox version?
The Xbox loads a little bit faster. If you were to, like, copy it to your hard disk on a modded Xbox, I'm pretty sure it would load a lot faster. But some of the cutscene stuff glitches out a little bit more. And
interesting.
I've just had a harder time with it. I'm working on it with a new controller now, which has been really nice. I got turned on to a cool little converter that lets me play a smaller controller.
Oh, lovely.
Here, we're taking an intentional death. Rat and Shout Out again figured out that if you get that checkpoint and then die, the helicopter resets its pathing, and we have a much easier time scaling a skyscraper in a second. Because climbing a building is a lot easier without a helicopter shooting lasers at you. or electricity or whatever it's supposed to be. But so yeah, the Xbox technically probably loads a little bit faster, but there's other parts, at least in our experience so far, that are just a little jankier. It's hard to put a finger on what exactly is going on yet, but we're digging into it.
Yeah, running 6th-gen games like this, like PS2, GameCube, Xbox era stuff, is always just so hit and miss with what console you should play them on.
Yeah.
It's endlessly interesting to me.
The PS2 is probably the worst of the three, I think, control-wise. Although the gliding is a little different, which you could be exploiting maybe to get yourself some more seconds. There's only like 3 or 4 of us who are posting things about this regularly, so I could be wrong. Any opinion I share here, please prove me wrong. I would love that. And I think also it has a lot to do with what you grew up playing, right? Like I had a GameCube. I'm so used to this like hand warping controller from Smash and stuff that
right.
Honestly, it could just be a personal preference of, I'm fastest on it because that's what I grew up playing. So the helicopter AI is never very consistent. We're trying to get these sticky bombs on it to blow up their headlights, I guess, and disable their weapons. They're really polite right now, and they're just shooting the like stun electricity at us. But if we get this third one here, they give up and they start shooting missiles, which I think is overkill.
Yeah,
for a man.
That's a big escalation. Yeah.
It's just like, the pilot just got annoyed and it's like, hey, we can kill him, right?
Yeah.
Woo, ugh.
Oh, gotcha.
You can take a couple hits from those, no problem. I think we only have one hit left we need to land. There we go. And it sometimes will, come on, do that. Where it's like, no, I don't believe you. I didn't see you hit it. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
That was a really clean copter fight. Sometimes, like I said, it has a mind of its own. And you're stuck there for a while. But, it lets you reflect on life. Some more cutscenes where we have a flashback and we get to be a super secret character of Mustache Man that's definitely not Bruce Wayne and a mustache. No cape. We're doing our little on the docks secret spy investigation stuff. Cool beard, cool mustache. Look a little like Riker from Star Trek.
Yeah.
It also means we don't have as many of our goodies and like we can't glide. We can still do a pretty cool jump and grab onto boxes theoretically. There we go. It's got to be a little nerve-wracking, I think, as Batman. Please work for me. There we go. Coming around in like your 3-piece suit, having things try to light you on fire without your fireproof suit. I guess that's why Batman's a superhero and I'm not.
Yeah, the bravery.
And this is a really strange kind of, I think it's an interesting way they program this. You have to do like a series of secret timings, and where's the green light? We got to come down here. You have now like a series of seconds to find the door that got lit up and pull another lever without that happening. We're still good there, yeah. And the whole thing they want you to do is to like stealth through, handcuff these guys, and then do the puzzle when you have room to breathe. But speedrunning, Ubisoft, right. We're trying to avoid these guys.
Come out where I can see you.
I like to think it's really confusing for them. Like, who is this weird man in beard jumping over me? This is not what the boss paid me for.
Yeah.
Show yourself. We get the cool, like, mystery sting of the music. And if we're lucky, we don't fight that guy. Yeah. And so what happens is Bruce reaches in, sees the pocket knife that says Toby on it, which Joker fell to his death with. And this is when we really know, like, okay, Joker's still around. We've been fooled. Everyone's lying to us, which is the viewer, I think, is very clear. But, it's a big plot twist for Batman and Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
We come up, we get to see a really fun, reveal, dramatic monologue from Joker, which we skip. And we're going to try for our third and final invincibility glitch in the game. Which you should not do here if you're ever playing any percent, because it'll soft lock. There's a later opportunity you can do it, though, if you want it. We have bad invincibility glitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just want to see you burn, as it turns out.
To be fair, I think having two clowns with flamethrowers just shooting you in the face has got to be stressful.
I don't want it.
Yeah, that's not what you like to do in your free time.
No, I don't think I want two clowns in my face doing anything, if I'm being honest.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, just take a step back, okay?
I get it. I'm with you now. There we go. Cool.
There it
so
is.
we
Nice.
knock the flamethrowers out of their hands and do something a little out of character for this version of Batman. We are just going to try to burn them to death. Because they will take the damage going through. And in a second, we get a sneak through early. Perfect. We get like a Batgirl skip there if we hit into first person right away. Oh, that was smooth. I like it when that works out, even if the invincibility glitch didn't. And we're about to have another dramatic confrontation with the Joker. It's like, oh, you're still alive. That sucks. I'm going to have a giant clown with rocket launchers on his shoulders shoot them at you. And we avoid it. And that's where it'll soft lock in any percent if you try to get the glitch there. We've tried everything of getting a new health pack, like the freeze, and that doesn't help. Works just fine in New Game Plus. And
Or
some
pipes.
more thrilling wheel turning.
Yeah.
So something's happening during the cutscene that freezes, and since we skip the cutscene in New Game Plus, we don't have to worry about it. No soft lock there. And again, we're gonna watch some oddly colored rusty tubes turn. What we're stopping is they're gonna like poison and then light on fire all of Gotham, which is just really rude.
Yeah. That ain't the play.
Can you? Oh, come on, Bruce. He likes to go stealth when you're supposed to climb.
Okay, where are you?
Can you imagine the insurance rates in Gotham? That it's got to be astronomical.
Yeah, with all this crime and all these like weird things going on. Yeah.
So now we get to hang out with the clown with the rocket launchers. This is where, if you're doing any percent and you're not confident in your battering skills, you could get the invincibility glitch off the flames here. But since we did it earlier, we just get a stand and never-ending fire and look really cool doing it, I imagine. Like, if I was this clown, I would be unnerved,
Yeah.
And Harley Quinn is in the tower above us giving us a hard time. She ducks anytime you look at her, but you can kind of see her right there for a second. Clown has a really bad time. I feel kind of bad for him.
Sure.
But, you're trying to blow up Gotham. You work for the wrong guy. And now we're on Joker's laser blimp. Which I don't know where he gets the budget for stuff like this.
You just gotta steal everything, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, he probably stole it from Lex or something.
Yeah.
Cool Joker with a machine gun moment that we skip through. We try to, there we go, early, get the gun away. We walk past an entire dramatic cutscene and boss fight. Because New Game Plus, you can just walk past him. You're like, I got the key already.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our first little puzzle moment. He tells us a riddle. You're supposed to get 2 correct gas mixes in this tube. If it's not clear, it's green and purple. With the tape back there. And he gives us a whole clever monologue that also cues us into it. But I mean, if it's the Joker from this era, I think green and purple's a pretty good guess.
Yeah, safe assumption.
And if you memorized your color wheel when you were taking art back in the day, no problem mixing green and purple. There we go. Again, if anyone ever finds a way to skip this, you'd be my hero. I'll order you a pizza wherever you are in the United States or anywhere else. That offer stands. You figure out how to skip this, I'll buy you pizza. A big one.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
And we're coming up on the end here. This is the last level. Joker, very dramatically, throws himself off the blimp and tries to kill us on the way down. While we are, being Batman, trying to save him. We get 3 hits on him, and then after the 3 hits, the last time we hit him will be time. Call that out. Can take a little bit here. And I gotta really kind of commend Joker in a way. It takes some skill to be able to throw bombs, shoot a gun like that while flying through the air, I think. All right, we're coming up on time.
Woo! Oh, sneaked up. That was fast ending here.
Joker defeated, saved the day. Can I ask what the time was? I'm a little curious.
Yeah, we're looking at a 40. Yeah, we're looking at a 47:34.
Oh dang! With all the missed invincibility glitches, that is excellent. It plays out a cool cutscene here. You get in the car, you talk to Jim, you save the day. It ends with you going through the camera going through Arkham, seeing everyone you've beat up. And in the end, Joker's hung a little Batman doll in his cell from a noose. Kind of morbid. Again, Conception, thank you so much for having me here. Big shout out to all the other runners today. I had a blast watching the show. Thank you to Richard, the tech, for getting me all set up. And I want to shout out Ratton, Rusty, Agari. Agari is the current world record holder for this category. He's taught me a bunch. You can find all their runs on the Speedrun page. You can see me on Twitch, Blue Sky, pretty much anywhere on the internet if you search MTG Joe D. If you want to talk about this game, any other game, happy to do it. Right now we're playing through Skyrim with crowd control on Twitch, so that's been fun. Any questions, hit me up. It's been so much fun coming back to Hotfix. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Joe, for being on here, throwing together this incredible run. You know, I couldn't tell by the rust at all because you're crushing it out there. So
thanks.
Thank you. Of course. That is going to be the end of Awfully Silly tonight. But guess what? It is not the end of our Hotfix content. We have a whole nother show that comes on right after Awfully Silly, which is, of course, Express Lane. And that's hosted by Asuka. I believe we are diving into the world of Mario. So you got some funky fun goodness here, and then you get some elite cool gameplay of games that people have probably played their whole life. So that the dichotomy there is not lost on me. So make sure you stick around and watch Express Lane. We will both be back in 2 weeks on New Year's Eve, celebrating with Hotfix content.